So, it's safe to say that they're very, very comfortable on this map, and it's definitely curious that it's Moneyball choosing to bring them here. So, we'll have to see if Moneyball end up being as confident as they'd hope. I mean, like you said earlier, I think you're absolutely right. Sure, the new meta is really exciting. Like, hey, no more shield meta. We even saw some smokes bringing barbed wire in the last match. Not as much of an emphasis on Wamai and Jaeger and stuff like that. That's real cool. Moneyball didn't play like that in the past meta anyway. They just run around like chickens with their heads cut off and peek. So,
see, I was trying to introduce Moneyball as being the team that wouldn't do much with it, but I was like, that's okay, because different play styles in Siege is an okay thing to have. And then you're like, no! What? They're just crazy!
Yeah,
they don't do anything substantial. Like,
they're like, you know what? I'm going to take the one, and goddammit, I'm going to win it. And that's their entire mentality.
Yeah, I feel that. And I do kind of hope that maybe when we head into the next week of CCS, or maybe even the matches up on Thursday, that we might see a little bit more of that meta execution to really determine exactly how the playstyle for competitive Siege is going to change, because it's not as though everyone would have been scrimming on the test server prior to now. So if anything, you can get a whole bunch of practice in on the live build and then see how that translates, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's changed. Even if it's only in the very, very small, minimal minutia details, there's a lot of things that have changed with the release of Neon Dawn that should hopefully make competitive play a little bit more fast-paced. But Maverick, Thatcher, Mira, Kaid, all of those bans pretty darn standard for Oregon, so those ones won't get changed.
Yeah, so it's despite the new meta and the new changes with the new season, same old bans, still standard. Laundry will be the first site, of course, and operator selections looking like the old meta. Maestro Malusi, Wamai, Smoke, Jaeger. Still a lot of anti-projectile, though you'll only have one shield instead of the two. Of course, Wamai now has the choice between, Barb or Impact, I think.
Yep.
Are his options, and you have plenty of utility to deal with it on the attack. Ashe, Sledge, Nomad, Zofia, Ivana, another very, very standard lineup. Something that I definitely noticed about the Cafe game is with both Ape and Neo, because there is such a... Oh no, wait, Wamai has proxes. Okay, alright, I didn't know that because he has impacts and procs now. Because there's so much less of an emphasis focused on the utility clearing, it frees up teams to finally run Buck again, which I am a fan of. I love Buck.
I'm cool with it too, but Buck got the nades removed and everyone was like, Buck, why?
But now you don't necessarily always need to take a nade operator. Plus, that role was also filled by Iana on the attackers, so they were like, hey, let's take Buck. He's a little bit more efficient, and we can, take cocktail with him. But, that's Cafe. You can't really do a cocktail take on Oregon. You can do a Kid Storms take and use Buck like that. That would be cool.
We saw that a little bit, and what was it? I'm trying to remember the last time. Was it a game we were casting, or was it a game I was just watching? It was a major game.
I think it was the other Oblation game that we casted.
Because I do swear we were seeing someone use Buck for that exact purpose through Kid Storms looking down at the kitchen. So that's been a thing, and that was in the old meta as well. But here we go. Opening engagement is Fish trying to knock someone out in security. He does have the position correct, but whether securities or the Oblation member insecurity has been forced out is unknown as of yet. Benji Mulo is already back into Freezer, waiting for someone to make their push. So all the angles for Oblation appear to be covered, but the roam, at least from the Ashe, seems to have been forced all the way back down the stairs.
Yeah, they seem pretty intent on clearing this roam. It looks like they're going for some kind of Freezer pinch here. Whether or not they're going to be pinching both Freezer and Pillar or Laundry remains to be seen. It's too early in the attack to be able to tell just yet, I think. But as Fish starts to just sit here and wait, ain't no one going to be flanking up Freezer stairs on his watch as Milano sets up the air jabs and makes sure that no one can come down white from a late flank upstairs. And this attack is certainly taking their sweet time. And here, look, Hibana, her rework. It's beautiful. And he's going to use...
all 6?
What?
Wait.
Beastly knows that you don't have to do that anymore, right?
It's only 4 pellets for a hatch, not 6. Beast. I'm going to chalk that up to just old reflex, because it does require you to hit another button to switch it from 6 to 4, but come on. At some point, that should become old hat for people because of the X-Kairos rework, and we saw plenty of that in the last series as well. 2 players forced down for MONEYBALL through into Freezer, waiting for someone from OBLATION to make a peek through the holes they've opened up for the angle, and we're also aware of the Maestro's utility, and Gomez has 2 frags in his back pocket to use for that if they need to clear it, and they should momentarily. The pressure is also coming down from laundry stairs. There's nothing on backstairs, nothing on bunker. It's all coming from these 2 sides, and it's forcing OBLATION to rethink the way in which they're positioned. They were estimating it to be a bunker take, but not anymore. Finally, the first kill. Those frag grenades from Gomez will fall silent. The push up from Benji Mula knocks out Fish. He's got 2 at this stage, and Benji with another one. No, that's a triple kill. Vivids and Freezer trying to hold the angle, and now Milano and Beastly, the only 2 members left. They're forced back up laundry stairs. Milano grabs 1 as he attempts to move back up, or at the very least, he'll stay put. It looks like Milano and Beastly now, with the diffuser, are splitting up and trying to take this from 2 different sides.
The gas grenade's starting to come out as well. Well timed from Vivid. He's still got 2 more in his pocket at 20 seconds. Hatch shot comes in from Beastly, but Inrio is more than ready and just watching at the hatch. Milano's position now very well known to the defense. Literally 3 people all staring in his direction. He's able to down 1, but Inrio claims his life. 2K for Inrio, 3K for Benji Muli. Wooly? That's not the right. That's not the right name. 3K for Benji Mula. The typical star fragger and the new pickup both doing very well in round number 1.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ring rust we got to shake off. It's been a hot minute since CCS happened. What was the last thing you casted, by the way? Was it CCS? Because we took a week off for Thanksgiving, and then...
The last thing I casted?
Well, I mean, I know that you're casting everything under the sun still these days, but I don't know. What'd you do last? Like, oh, no, sorry, when was it? When was it?
Yesterday.
So I'm the only one that has to shake off ring rust.
Yes. I just flubbed Benji Mula's name for no reason.
But then again, you and I haven't casted for a while, so collectively we still have to get back in the group. This is stupid.
That is true. You know, something that I wanted to mention too is when Keg asked me, hey, who's going to have a higher cake? Who's going to do better, Inrio or Fish? The reason why I say Inrio is that OBLATION are very used to deal with monkey teams because of how long they spent in T3 before moving up to T2, and of course, you know, having to slog through the qualifier, stuff like that. OBLATION are very, very apt at dealing with monkey teams because at one point they were kind of doing that themselves before they became a lot more structured. And the playstyles between Fish and Inrio, sure, they're both really nutty fraggers, but I feel like Fish is more of a risk taker. He's more of a all or nothing player, like, hey, I'm either gonna get 3 kills or I'm gonna die first. Whereas Inrio kind of plays a little bit not smarter, but just less risky, I guess, is how I describe it.
Yeah, I feel that. It's almost like you have to... You were the darkness at one point, but then you turn to the light. You still know how to defeat the darkness. That kind of thing. It's like Sith that turn back to the light. They call themselves Jedi. I have no idea. I was just asked by production, what is that? And I have 0 clue.
I thought it was going to be like a Destiny reference, and then you talked about the Jedi.
I mean, I could have made it a Destiny, but that's the wrong...
Speaking of, the new French revolver skin looks like a hand cannon. It's sick.
Oh, yeah. You know why? Because I was the one that put that on Twitter. Yeah. Stealing my content.
No, I mean, I looked at it and I said that to myself
But
first.
I tweeted it. Give me the... Anyway,
right.
let's get back on the game. One thing I do want to highlight is the fact that we do have that round counter up in the top of the screen at all times now, so it's always a 5v5. If we get confused by figuring out who still has that many players up, that is permanent as of the Neon Dawn patch, and is something we will always be able to use as a crutch. Just like all the other observer updates we've gotten over the past 6 months, this stuff is amazing. Thank you very much to Ubisoft. But Gomez and Beastly, maybe with help from Zofia, are about to push the rest of Big Window, and here's that utility clear again. You don't have to use 2 flashes on it anymore, but he'll still use 1, either through reflex or presumably to see if there's someone else behind the bunk bed. And for right now, there is no one because both Vivid and Arrow are not positioned to stop a plant from that side unless Vivid wants to get off of the foosball table and move to the top of white. And Rio is beginning to barricade up as well because there's no one coming from the side of Armory Stairs. There's 3 players from MONEYBALL still outside Big Window, and they haven't made their push yet.
You know, Wamai with impacts and Ash with a claymore is going to take some getting used to. I keep seeing their secondary gadgets and having to take a double take, but like you said, Moneyball are kind of all pushing from the same direction. They're all towards Big Window and Kids, and because they don't have a Buck and they're really not doing much with Fish or Louise, they don't have that downstairs presence to try and screw with the players inside of Kids' dorms. So the Oblation defense is just sitting pretty and waiting. They know that they don't have to get too aggressive. As soon as Moneyball vaults through this window, they're sure to be met with a hail of gunfire. Milano as well is going to take even more damage. He's very low on HP. The rest of Oblation not even being touched. And here comes the vault. Usually now in the sight, waiting through the barbed wire, right under the window. But no, there's a gas grenade. It'll do a little bit of damage to him, and he will fall right into the arms of a waiting player. Pivotal will get the first frag as he finishes off Milano. The gas finds one, and there's a frag from Womai. It's a 2 versus 5 all of a sudden as the rush comes through. There's a trade from Gomez, but it's a 1 versus 4 after Vivid C4's his teammate. There's a nice flick from Gomez, but he can't transfer onto Inrio. And as soon as those players jump in the window, they fall just as fast. Oblation will take their second round.
That's got to be one of the most linear pushes I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was all big window. You can push from big, that's totally fine, but usually there's pressure from somewhere else. It can come from attic because you've got hard breachers, and no, Habana was on big window. Okay, so it's not attic. You can push up through armory, and because the stairs is basically clear, but Jaeger boards it up because there's no one there, and you can just move back to site, which means you force more of Oblation onto the bomb site to help defend it. Okay, so that doesn't work. What about white stairs? Nothing on white stairs. What about Dorm's window? Nothing on Dorm's window. It was just figure out where everyone on Oblation is positioned. Once you realize everyone's on site, you push onto site through the biggest window.
There they are. Let's get them. That was
I'm very confused.
That was the plan.
Yeah, but it was like, it was a contest to see how long you could have 3 people all hanging around the same windowsill to see what would happen.
Yeah, it's like, you know how we always joke about the us casters always joke about the OXG comms being, all right, boys, I'm gonna make a play, and that's how OXG plays.
Yeah.
That was Moneyball. That was the entirety of Moneyball. That was all 5 of them simultaneously saying, hey, I'm gonna make a play, and one by one vaulting through the big window and trying to get picks. That's the only logical explanation I have for that.
I mean, it's not that your explanation isn't logical, it's that the push itself wasn't. So
listen, but now Womai can impact trick the wall. You don't need a Maestro anymore. Because Womai is
gonna take some getting used to. Womai impact tricking? Oh yep. Man.
That's and even like if I guess you don't really need burn anymore, but like Twitch stuns. Dokkaebi has nades back. Echo Shield.
This is just well, we don't have Echo in play just yet. We will hopefully pretty soon if Ubisoft wants to lift the original competitive sanction, but at least for the moment, he is not in play. So we'll see how the rest of these changes work out. And so far, Milano can't get anything done as it's Inrio halfway across the map, and he'll rotate back upstairs. Now it's up to the other 4 members of Moneyball who I believe just entered site, whereas Milano did not have the chance to, and a lot of the stuff he was bringing on the past 2 rounds, blank watch utility. No more air jabs can be utilized in the event someone from Oblation wants to make a rotate, and so far, they've proven that they're pretty antsy to go for those frags, but they will hang back if need be.
So far, again, it looks pretty one-dimensional from Moneyball, with all of their players kind of stacking up in small tower while the wall is opened. Oh, that's new. The icon for the Zofia, as Gomez dies over on his window push to Benji Mula. So now 2 players dead, and that's a great flank by Benji Mula. He gets 1 and another! It's another triple kill and a 4! As Benji Mula pulls out the pistol. Insane play from the newest player on Oblation, as he pretty much by himself pushes up the hallway, kills 1 on the window, and kills the last 3 in small.
Benjamin Currency. Joe Esports is dead. Long live Oblation. That was one of the fastest 3Ks I think CCS has seen.
That was a 4K.
Dominating and just wait, was it?
Yeah. It was 1 in the window, 2 bottom small, and the guy on the stairs with the pistol.
Hey, the man just snaps onto everything.
Sheesh.
Fantastic pickup for Oblation already through just 3 rounds. You sure you just want to keep him on? You know, just have him play out the rest of the season. If he's doing things like that, that is insane.
Oh,
so good job. No,
he is their permanent 5th.
Well, right, but that's I'm saying if he's playing because Giddy couldn't play, right? No, because Bear couldn't play.
No, that's Arrow.
Right? No, but Arrow's leaving after this season is done because Arrow's still on Bracket Blast.
Yeah.
Because they were going to play out the rest of the season with Arrow, and it wouldn't have been Benji tonight. It would have been Gynabear.
Oblation, yes. No. So that was the original plan.
Right.
And then Oblation were like, never mind, we'll play with Benji Mula instead. So technically, Arrow is subbing in for Bear, and next week, Arrow will be out, and Benji Mula will still be in.
Gotcha. Well,
yeah. It's weird.
Team roster logistics aside, okay.
He'd be a Franklin.
He'd be a...
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because Benjamin Franklin.
I understand the reference. I'm just disappointed. Anyway.
No, I mean, like, you don't have to spell it out, production. Everyone knows. Also, Benji Mula's 7-0. Inrio is also 4-0.
Here's what I wanted to mention with Beastly. Sorry, not Beastly. The reason that the 4K was possible for Benjamin Currency in the first place is because, again, the linear push from Moneyball. They all situated themselves up inside Small Tower and didn't want to make a push from any other part of the map. Even just a 1 to 2 player presence someplace else on a different avenue to help apply pressure and try to squeeze Oblation back onto the bomb site. Instead, they got 1 frag, and then all the other 4 kills that Moneyball died to came inside Small from Benji Mula. So whether they want to reposition themselves is something that remains to be seen, because they all seem to be spawning around the same side of the map. They're all, you know, pushing in together. Right now, I don't know if they're pushing anywhere else that's not through Bunker, and there's the first kill. Arrow finds Fish and immediately rotates back again. So Fish is dead. We highlighted him. He hasn't gotten a single kill, and he's died every round thus far.
Wow, you gotta feel for Fish. Wow, what a shot from Louise, threading the needle. Sledge is another operator that I've not oft seen him on, but he'll rip the head off of Giddy. Maestro down, those cams will now lock in place. Zofia for Maestro, albeit that's a pretty even trade, except for the fact that, hey, with, you know, Benji Mula and Inriel currently cooking up, you don't necessarily need Giddy's typical firepower, whereas Fish is the main spearhead for Moneyball, and consistently that main spearhead. Now the shoulders will probably be Gomez and Louise that are gonna have to lift the weight of the entry, but Inrio trying to go up. He'll put some shots onto Beastly, but he does not win out the fight. And Moneyball will continue to take control of tower, stairs, and pillar, but Arrow claps back onto Gomez. 2 frags for the Wamai.
So no more man count advantage for Moneyball. So anything that they had in this match is something that they need to take advantage of, because it's already a 3-0. The fact that they can't use anything with that is already a bad play. Arrow 3 kills inside Bunker. He's got coverage from Vivid. He has everything that he needs. And a 2 versus 3 Moneyball again on the back foot, but there is time to try and salvage the rest of this round. With Diffuser in their possession, they can try to split up again, but when there's only 2 members up, there's not really much that you can do unless you want to buddy up, but that seems to be what their play is. It's Louise by himself on backstairs. Beastly with the Diffuser playing Habana's already somewhere else across the map, and now Vivid might be able to swing out and find the final frag, but at least for the moment, Louise is not getting super aggressive. The down from, I believe it was Benji Mula across the map, will ensure that Diffuser is in their control, and now it's all on Louise with 2 more kills to find. He nabs 1, he needs to go for the other 2 or the Diffuser, and he's opted to go for the kills. He needs to find both of them, doesn't have position on either one of them, and it's Benji yet again down the long hallway. It was actually Vivid who downs Beastly and gets credit for the kill, and Arrow, 3 kills inside Bunker. That 3K makes sure it's Oblation's 4th in a row.
Wow. It has been a match of individual performances so far from Oblation. In round number 1, it was Inrio with a 2K, Benji with 3. Round number 2 was more of a team effort, but a lot of that I think falls upon the shoulders of Giddy the Smoke when he was able to smoke off the Big Dorm's window. That definitely caused a lot of chaos on the attack and allowed his teammates to pick off the members as they fled. The dining room was, of course, Benji getting that 4K flank in a small tower, and that laundry defense was all down to Arrow and Elbow getting 3 kills as Wamai, very aggressively, mind you. He just kept swinging Bunker over and over, and every time he did, he found a kill. Fun fact, now, throughout every round, throughout the first 4 rounds, it has been a different player on Oblation to get the opening pick. All 4 going to them. It was Benji, Vivid, Inrio, and Arrow. We'll see maybe if this round it's Giddy's turn.
If he doesn't get it, then the pattern's ruined. Well, no, because you can't just mention a pattern like that and then have the rest of us not root for Giddy to get this next one. Otherwise, it's like
sad.
It's not fair, man. It's a what would it be? It would be a team ace of opening kills. Everyone needs one. I'm trying to name the pattern. There's nothing for that yet. When every individual member of a team gets the opening pick. We'll figure it out later. Oblation with 4 up, and MONEYBALL not being able to find an answer for anything. They've had the chance to thin the odds out a little bit, though in the last round, that was their best opportunity. It was a 4 versus 3, and then it all slowly falls by the wayside. No other round have they had a man count that was that close before. It's usually been a blowout in one way or another, and they need already, even though it's only round 5, to shift things up pretty darn dramatically. But again, they're all moving, not necessarily as a cluster, but they are still moving in the same direction slowly over time. It would really surprise me if Fish, the only guy who's not in the general proximity of the rest of his team, were to push from an angle that the rest of MONEYBALL are not pushing from. So we'll see if they want to make a change. They need to make a change. The only question is, with 2 more rounds on attack, will they even concern themselves, or will they just go on to defense and do things there?
Well, we'll have to see. It's so far looking like a Oblation half through and through. And no, Benji will ruin the pattern, unfortunately for us. But Milano will go down. Arrow, yet again, still on his aggressive streak, swings the window. He trades blows with, I believe that was Gomez, as Inrio finds Luis downstairs. He's looking for more, challenging out for the front door. But the standard flank watch outside behind the white van will net Fish his very, very first kill. Still a 4v3 in Oblation's favor. And like you said, the last round that we just saw was MONEYBALL's best chance in a 1v2, because every round before that, they had only gotten 1 kill. So that's it's a bit unfortunate. They've got 1 kill in this round. Hopefully, for their sake, it doesn't end there.
There wasn't any utility on the wall aside from a mute jammer, so that's exactly where Fish heads downstairs to clear, and now Attic's been opened up. So MONEYBALL, they've abandoned the idea of going for a big window take this time. The question is, will they still attempt to split their resources up a little bit, and with 2 men off the board, Milano not being able to do anything in this round thus far, or sorry, in this game, theoretically at this point, will they even the odds? Gomez will do exactly that. There goes Benji, your star fragger, his first death already. And now MONEYBALL may have a better chance than they did in the last round, but time is beginning to tick down. Quick shot as Beastly attempts to stave off getting his head cleared, and he will, at least for the moment, drop. But all this pushing from MONEYBALL is taking a little bit too long. Gomez, 1 more kill back through the game's wall. There's a chance to salvage this one, but Oblation need to hold fast. More gas grenades. There's 1 more in Giddy's pocket, and Arrow can still try to push around from Attic, because the push from MONEYBALL actually isn't coming from that direction, so he has free clearance of this entire side of the map and can stop them before they push through Trophy to go for the plant. Gomez utilizes his last couple of frags. Nope, sorry, all of his flashes will go through. He'll wait for his own opportunity, but no one from Oblation's getting super antsy to peek aside from Arrow, who grabbed the kill, and Attic. Giddy grabs 1, and now Arrow, all he needs to do is run. Is he going to try to get away before Beastly can go for the kill? He will, and Beastly can't get the diffuser down in time. The wonderfully clever escape as Arrow gets the frags, moves back out of Attic, and Oblation 5 in a row.
An even closer round than the last, having the man count advantage yet again and coming down to a 1v1. Unfortunately, as Gomez pushes through the game's wall, he does not know that Arrow is still Attic, or it was just a case of mistiming. He did not have proper cover. As he moves through, Arrow has the perfect swing. Trades from his team as well. It ends up in a 1v1, and man, that Banshee just sitting in the middle of the games room that was never cleared ended up being the savior for that round. I mean, sure, I don't know if Beastly would have been able to get into the attic in time. Maybe he would have been able to get there as Arrow was retreating, but either way, that round was pretty much in Oblation's hands, and the Banshee just vaulted it into a 100% definite round. 5 in a row for Oblation. They looked just absolutely unstoppable. That round as well on Dorms was, similarly to their last Dorms defense, more of a team effort than it was one single guy making a huge round-changing play, like we saw from the other 3. Dining is where we saw Benji Mula get a hallway flank, an L flank right in a small, and get 4 kills. We'll see if MONEYBALL are actually able to, you know, set up their attack if that doesn't happen again.
1 perfect site rotation plus 2. And now we learned that dining is still the preferred side for most teams on Oregon, as the Oblation will opt to not go for the meeting side. They won this the last time, obviously. That was off of the back of a 4K from Benji Mula. So the question becomes, if he is shut down early, do MONEYBALL have more of an opportunity to move on the site and go for an execute? Gomez probably had a drone inside garage, but for right now, he goes through without anyone to stop him, and he does have a drone in the middle of meeting, but there's actually no one on this side of the map nearly at all, aside from Inrio, who pops in, and Gomez takes his head off, and now the rest of MONEYBALL probably have the best chance they've ever had. The Roamer's been denied any kills, so can they take advantage of it and begin to move in a little bit quicker?
It's also the very, very first opening frag for MONEYBALL. So far, throughout the first 5 rounds, all 5 of them being Oblation wins, were also Oblation opening picks. So finally, MONEYBALL have something in their favor. See if they can snowball that in as Beastly starts to open the meeting wall. It seems to be a kitchen push instead of the small tower take they tried to do in the previous round. But with no top control, pushing into kitchen might be a little bit difficult. There's still at least one defender up there who just stay. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Benji Mula, who just stare through the floor holes and completely lock off your access through that wall. Just as I say that, though, there's 2 MONEYBALL members going up the main stairs. Whether or not they actually have info on Benji Mula is a different story, as they'll just hold into attic and wait for these attackers to push him.
Gomez has seemingly been pushing all this time without the use of a drone, but he'll get shut down by Benji. Can the refrag come through? It can't. Fish can't stop Benji Mula upstairs, and now can MONEYBALL even get someone back out of position from their own execute to clear him out? He might have free reign of all the top floor, but just for right now, they'll continue as though their plan hasn't changed. Down goes Giddy to the L85 of Louise, and not sure if that frag grenade was meant to be used there, but
it cleared a Banshee.
If it did, it was a good use of it. But now, Arrows all by his lonesome, sitting inside shower corridor. He can get pinched from 2 different angles here if MONEYBALL want to get aggressive, but 3 versus 3, and Oblation still have all the positional advantage with Benji still sitting upstairs. Milano going upstairs to clear him out, and Benji's not looking the right way at all. 3 versus 2. MONEYBALL are sitting much prettier than they did in the previous round. If they can get one more on the back of this attack and go into their defense with at least 1 round 1, they'll be looking a lot better.
Yeah, and Vivid, unfortunately, with 30 seconds left, only has 1 gas grenade remaining, and because Wamai's new utility is Impact, not C4, once Vivid expends it, which he will right now, you've got no more plant denial other than just swinging yourself, and 1 player will go down, Beastly finishing off Vivid, and Milano finding the kill onto Arrow. MONEYBALL, finally, on the very last round of the half, will take their first round win, a 5-1 half for Oblation, but it's not a 6-0, unless MONEYBALL still keep themselves in the fight.
Milano was definitely the MVP of that round. He not only has to get out of his own role from the attacking execute to go upstairs and find Benji Mula with the floor holes above, but he also has to come back down white stairs again and net the final frag. It's because of him that Oblation don't have anyone in position to stop the diffuser from going down, and he was expertly placed, knew his own role, and luckily Benji was not looking in his direction, and he was shut down relatively quickly. So, the 5-round skid from MONEYBALL is completely evaporated, but does the momentum slow down even though they're on attack? This was MONEYBALL's pick. Can they stall Oblation for a couple of rounds here and maybe see if they can't force overtime?
I think the buck pick from Arrow was just in case they were defending upstairs. Maybe we can see the first attack from Oblation be a Kids Dorms take, a proper Kids Dorms take, instead of 5 people funneling through Big Window. But they seeing the lineup, they obviously know something is afoot, seeing that this is more like a downstairs basement for MONEYBALL. And again, pretty standard lineup, nearly identical to what Oblation were running, only Oblation have a change that we have not seen yet. This will be our first instance of the Twitch with her new updated F2, which a lot of people don't think is as strong as it once was, and now flashes, so she can aid in the burning of utility, though not as prevalent, still important.
It's also curious, is Inrio's Ash running breach charges?
I guess because they already have the Claymore on the Zope. I guess they figure they don't need another one.
I mean, yeah, I suppose so. The fact that Ash doesn't have flashes anymore is something we'll also have to get used to a little bit. So yeah, it does.
And that she has 3 of the breaching rounds now.
Right. So whether or not we see the Claymore or the Breach Charges used more frequently, I guess, is a little bit to be desired. Maybe in this meta, rather than it just being solely util burn, maybe Ashe can be used for a little bit more of that floor destructibility, like in conjunction with the Sledge or with a Buck, would probably be a pretty smart way to go with it. So we'll see if that plays out in this round, if that is how the Ashe is utilized, or if she'll be used in more of the entry frag role rather than like the support utility burn role that we saw her in most of the past couple of months now.
Yeah, she kind of had a weird place where, yeah, you want to entry frag with her, but you don't want to
Right.
play her too
I mean,
risky.
your instinct is to entry frag with Ashe,
Yeah.
but
If you lose
I think
the
it was
utility,
Stern now
it's
that actually
pretty
like called
important.
her a support player, and I can't really fault that line of thinking in the old
Yeah,
meta.
because remember when people used to say, Ashe has no utility, she doesn't really help the team at all, and then
Right.
this meta came around and it's like, all right, maybe
Now let's
it
see how
is
that
important.
changes.
Oh, okay, so Vivid is going to be using the 4 as he has switched his pellets off, not to waste utility, just in case there's more that he wants to use later in the round. And we're continuing to push down Freezer. That's where Fish had taken up his spot on the attack as Vivid continues to open up patches. Of course, Kaid is banned, so there's really no way to deny Vivid from doing so, and thus that's going to be a lot of upwards control for the attackers.
Arrow trying to clear his own way down Laundry Stairs if he wants to try and solo push this. And so far, there's no HP traded on either side. Half the round is gone, so Oblation's attack isn't nearly as aggressive as some of Moneyball's were at this stage in the round timer. They have plenty of opportunities still left to ensure that this is a successful take. And it's also being split up a lot more than Moneyball's, where it's almost 3 different angles that are being pushed. One from Laundry Hatch, actually all the way down Laundry Stairs, from Freezer, and from Backstairs. And Moneyball seems like they're all kind of cornered in a little corner of the bomb site, but Gomez will grab Giddy in a very unadvantageous spot at the bottom of the staircase, and he can't get back up or defend himself in time. Inrio will still take the opportunity to push down as Arrows now moved all the way down the stairs to take up Giddy's position. And Benji seems like he's also joining Arrows, so the push is now primarily on Laundry. Can Inrio grab a frag on Freezer to try to make this a little bit more even? No, it'll be Gomez to take down Vivid, but here comes the Freezer push. Inrio with 1. Can he grab one more on the cross? And with a swing, he will. Down goes Gomez, so no more impact frags from him. But now the Maestro is aware of his position, might not be able to stop it enough time. Fish knocks out Arrow, still one more player on the side of Laundry Stairs. It's all on Inrio and Benji to try to clear something out, but Benji, he's worried someone else is behind him. He's going back up. He's got to leave an Inrio on an island. There is one more upstairs. The pistol comes out. Benji can't find the kill. It falls to the carbine instead, and Inrio all alone after the Zofia abandons him. Fish on incredibly low HP, but Beastly in the corner. Can Inrio find the kill? He's so close, misses 2 opportunities. The pistol comes out. One more. He's got to find Fish on so little HP, but he just runs away. Moneyball escaped by the skin of their teeth. Inrio tried so hard, but Oblation can't find the round, and Moneyball will take their first.
Wow, Inrio, if Fish was any closer to him, Inrio could have won that fight with the pistol out. Both of them were 1 HP, essentially playing paintball there. It's 3 kills for Inrio, but it is not enough to win the round. That flank from Fish, extremely well timed. Could not have been timed better. Not only did he get a frag of his own, but he distracted Benji enough to bait him upstairs, and Benji didn't win his fight. If Benji wins that fight against Fish, then that's a win for Oblation because Inrio continues to pressure the Maestro. Even if he loses that, he still lights the Maestro up to 1 HP, and Benji probably, I would imagine, with how well Benji has been doing this match, probably clutches that out. But unfortunately, Benji whiffing a lot of the shots onto the Jaeger fish, couldn't find him through the wall either, and just an all-around slow push from Oblation through Freezer, dropping a lot of bodies on the way, does not work out. So far, it's been Gomez to find both of the opening picks for Moneyball, and from those opening picks, they've gotten both their rounds.
We called Inrio the player to watch. We also called Fish the player to watch. Those two were the final members of their respective teams up at the end of that round. And so far, Fish had a very slow start. He was 0-4 on Zofia, but he's beginning to bring things back. And he also he netted the kill against the Zofia at the top of Laundry Stairs in the previous round to ensure that it was just Inrio in a 1v1 situation. So he's been clutching up in the past couple of rounds to help Moneyball out a little bit more. But Inrio only had 5 kills, he got a 3K on the round and couldn't quite clutch it. So for both of our players to watch thus far, Inrio obviously having the most impact, and you were right when Keg asked you the question, Crow, about who would have the highest KPR. So far, it's been Inrio, but Fish still has a little bit more time to show up if Moneyball performs as well as they are.
Yeah, of course, Inrio having a positive 1.14 KPR. I think that's 8
through
out
this
of
game
7.
so far.
Yeah, and 3 out of 7 is like 0.42, 0.43, something like that. So, Inrio having over double that, even almost triple that. So far, I'm winning, as I always do.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a competition. I didn't place a
Well,
bet.
no, I'm not winning against you. I'm just winning in general. It's kind of like as a concept, you know,
That's king
an
stuff right
abstract victory. But you know what I've noticed? This has been an uncharacteristically passive Moneyball, especially on that defense. Really, it was just Fish flanking. Otherwise, the positions Moneyball were playing were not as aggressive as we're used to seeing, and I wonder if it's down to the fact that Moneyball are just showing Oblation the respect they deserve being a CL team and not someone that Moneyball can just, run around the map wildly sprinting at.
Well, if they're a monkey team, I suppose they can just kind of hang back occasionally, even if their instinct is normally to play that more aggressive style. I thought it was more that Oblation weren't pushing nearly as hard and fast as we've seen them do before, especially in Challenge League. It's almost like they weren't really certain how aggro they could get, and they were just trying to hang back and see what they could do. And they almost won that last round as well, so it's not like they can't do it here, but it's also kind of the same problem on round 8 where they're not pushing nearly as quickly. Gomez, the opening frag, yet again, Benji can't find the cross. Up comes Gomez with his second frag, and he still has backup at the top of Freezer Stairs and Oblation. All of a sudden, the span of 10 seconds of 2 men down, they're trying to find a way to equalize an arrow. You can at least do that against Milano. Down goes your Wamai. He didn't have a magnet in position, one of his own devices to help him stay alive, and instead, 4 versus 3 now ensues with 50 seconds left. Gomez still at the top of the other staircase, his 3rd kill on the round. The ranked star himself looking to find 2 more and make it the ace if he can, but here's the cross. Vivid knocks out Louise. There's still time. Can they make it happen? Beastly will deny Gomez the ace, and he'll instead grab a 2K across the map as the rotation isn't even necessary. Beastly inside attic grabs 2, Gomez with 3, and Moneyball with 3 rounds.
And Gomez with his 3rd straight opening pick.
He had it on the last round on Moneyball's attack, didn't he?
Yep. It was on their attack. It was actually Gomez onto Inrio. You remember the pinch into meeting room when Inrio walked onto the stage and Gomez took his head off. Then on Laundry, it was Gomez onto Giddy. And just now, yet again, Gomez onto the entry of Inrio. So far, Gomez's opening picks, 3 in a row. Moneyball's rounds, 3 in a row. Coincidence? I think not.
Seeing the same site rotation come out here, it's dining as opposed to meeting. Same operator rotation, though we are seeing a Goyo in play. Did we see Goyo in the last round?
No. Last round was Wamai, Jaeger, Valkyrie, Smoke, Maestro.
Yeah. And, well, there has been a little bit of a switch. It's no longer Milano playing the Wamai, it's instead Fish. Malusi will be employed here. So here's, I guess, a little bit of a remnant of the utility burn in the fact that we're still seeing Goyo up, and he's the only person with a shield. The smoke hasn't been used by Moneyball to really any effect, and they're opting to not use it on their 3rd consecutive defense round. They're favoring it for a mute instead. So it's really just the Goyo. If you had to summon the old parts of the old utility meta, the closest you could probably get to it would be a Goyo, Goyo, Wamai, Jaeger, Smoke, and then someone else with area denial. That would probably be the most you have to worry about burning, because that's 2 shields set up inside of, they're both inside showers? They can put both Goyo shields inside showers.
Wow. Milano just got slammed. Even Milano's confused. Wow. That was a nice shot from Benji. Finally ending Gomez's opening kill streak. We'll do it onto the Malusi, who is kind of ducking and darting behind the shields. And first pick goes the way of Ablation, something that we have not seen in the past 3 rounds. So far, tradition has held true, and the team that gets the opening pick has eventually gone on to win the round. So could this be the start of Ablation putting themselves on map point?
Moneyball need more time to stall, which they have. Ablation, if anything, it's usually a 6v5, the 6-man usually being the fact that Oblation have to be the team to push in, and they also don't have a timer on their side, but now it's evened up more significantly with Milano off the board, and they can still get something to work. Question is, how will it happen? Gomez wants it to be because there's somebody on the outside, and he's down in Classroom, but he'll go for the vault back out. His position's given away. The new run-out timer means you can't stay out for very long. That's another new part of the patch. So here comes Beastly now. He can go for the drop down whenever it fits him, but the rest of Oblation, this seems like a pretty darn linear push.
Cool.
Benji trying to come back in. He knocks out Fish. Inrio has full showers control to himself. There go the Banshees. The rest of the utility has already been nullified, and it falls on Moneyball to find some method to equalize. Gomez can push back up inside. Can he grab one kill? No, he gets shut down instead, but Luis will still find Gideon. Vivid has also been down, so Diffuser needs to be summoned yet again before the plan can be attempted.
Vivid looks like he's recoverable as he kind of crawls his way back into Small Tower. So this will likely become a 2v4 for Luis and Beastly, though if Vivid's revived like he is just now, as well as Benji, are both on very low HP. Against weapons such as the Vector and the SMG-11, which they're with their very, very high rate of fire, they could be very susceptible to those weapons. Beastly starts to creep up to the bathroom wall where Inrio is playing, ducking just under the hole, and he finds the kill on a Vivid, finishing him off. Inrio is not there for the refrag as he could not see the mute through it. And he'll just continue to push into the site. He knows that they take the control they can ease, but for some reason, Beastly is just going to stand out in the open behind that shield, and that's an easy kill for the Ash. Luis in a 1v3. Benji Mula with the diffuser, though, despite being low HP, there's no C4 for Luis, so we'll have to just try and swing, but Inrio will find another kill. 2 for Benji, 3 for Inrio, and Oblation will stop the bleeding and put themselves on that point.
Well, I was a little bit concerned we would see both sides look exactly the same, and if Oblation were going to win an attack round, maybe it would happen on the very final round of regulation, but it's been a bit of a trend. So far, maps have been incredibly defensive-sided, and there haven't been that many attack wins on either series thus far. Wasn't the first map was so quick, it was in the blink of an eye. It was all defensive rounds on theme, then Cafe shows up, and there wasn't a single attack round won between between
15.
Ape and Yep. I don't get it. But that's not the case here. It's only been 2 rounds on attack.
No.
Oh, dear God.
Giddy.
You
No.
naughty boy. Why are you hiding the Blackbeard pick?
So
They're
they
n-
peek him.
I mean, yeah, okay, sure. They're not going down to dorms.
I mean, he's 2-7. I think Giddy needs some help right now. So I guess Blackbeard's the operator.
He's 2-7, Vivid's 4-7, but I guess Vivid's been playing more of a laid-back support role the entire night. And Giddy's like, I'm kind of doing whatever. Can I even my KD to positive? He needs 5. He needs an ace to do that. Never mind.
The Blackbeard ace. I don't think I've ever casted a Blackbeard ace. The strangest I ever
Me
got
neither.
was a Lion ace.
That was strange.
But like after he was nerfed.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
So it was kind of
Can we get
weird.
who will be the first person to get a 0 ace casted?
Ooh. That'd be cool.
I just want to know what 0 is going to look like. Hopefully at some point.
Yeah, like who's gonna like what role is he gonna fill? Like, are we gonna see like like Thinking Nade on 0?
That would be interesting. Is Thinking Nade on 0?
Yeah, because Flank Watch. Set up the cams.
I like it. I like it.
Because he doesn't have nades anymore, remember? So he doesn't necessarily have to be at the front lines. He's got a Claymore.
That's true. How about Kanzan? Kanzan on
Kanzan on
0.
0. Or 0 could be like
Kanzan.
a secondary entry.
I can dig that.
Bosco on 0. Ooh. Remember Bosco on Bandit? Bosco on Bandit was goated.
I do remember Bosco on
MP7
Bandit. He has that MP7 recoil still memorized at this point. Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, here's the only flank watch that I think Oblation have been worried about so far. It's just Claymores. They don't have bodies worried about that task, and they're also not running a Nomad, so whether they're super concerned about looking out for one another's backs be more proven as they push in. And about a minute to go, by the way, and there's still players outside in spawn doing drone work, just trying to figure out where all this gadgetry has been positioned on Moneyball's side. Benji has forced his way down inside Freezer. Down goes the Banshee. He can move in whenever he feels like it, but the rest of Oblation don't seem like they're in position. Gomez gets aggressive, and Benji knocks his head clean off his shoulders. Two pushing down inside of Laundry now as Inrio drones, I believe, for the Blackbeard at the bottom of Laundry. So now Fish is going to have something else to worry about as well, and now the top floor control has been fully assumed from Oblation. Moneyball might already be forced into a corner.
Jeez. Ash droning for Blackbeard. Not a sight you see every day, as Giddy seems like he wants to make his main point of aggression into Laundry. He does have a little bit of a head glitch spot where the washing machine is, so, you know, being a Blackbeard, that could definitely work out for him, but he definitely has to rely on the rest of his team also making their successful push entries. So far, so good. We saw that earlier opening kill from Benji Mula onto Milano, and just looking into the site, the crossfire being held, Fish goes down, another kill for Benji. Now pushing in is the Blackbeard. Here's the head glitch spot behind the counter, and Inrio, curiously enough, the Starfragger on the Ash is the one holding the diffuser. Benji Mula will finally be finished off, and Milano collects a double kill, felling Arrow as well, and now it's even man count. The advantage that Oblation had held slowly started to slip away. Milano, though, on very low HP, everyone on Oblation full. There's only 30 seconds left, and they're making a rotate, looking like they no longer want to push by Laundry. They'll start to attack the tower stairs. Maestro will hear this and likely call it out to his team as a flash grenade goes out, but is caught by a Wamai disc, and Inrio's going bunker as well, but Beastly finds the kill on the hatch dropper of Giddy. 2 versus 3 now. Inrio trying to push into elbow, but there's no pick for him to find, but there it is. He catches Beastly slipping. It's back to a 2v2, but there's only 5 seconds left. They have to push in soon. Inrio trying to pre-fire around and find something, but he'll plant default and rely on the cover from Giddy, but no, he can't find it, and he'll just lift off the plant. Milano with a massive 3K in the round, and Moneyball will take round number 10.
They don't want to die just yet. This was their map pick, and it's also Oregon, which hasn't swung to the attacker favor just yet, but those 3 kills from Milano, the first 2, I'm trying to figure out where they came from. Did he stall out the Laundry push by himself, or the Freezer
They
one?
were 2 kills in Freezer.
Freezer, okay, and he was positioned in Freezer as well when he got both of them, so he just opted to stick in there and wait for the push to come from bunker. I don't mind the bunker rotation option from Oblation, where they had Inrio push backstairs and Vivid as the Habana swing in from bunker and try to make something happen there. It wasn't a bad option. It just came with so little time left. There was 30 seconds remaining. You still have a Maestro to deal with. The Barb hasn't been destroyed. You cannot make your push down backstairs until that gets cleared and until the Maestro is dead. So if anything, I understand why you need to make the rotation, because you know all the defenders have their crosshairs trained on the other avenues of attack where you were pushing from before. But when you're doing it with that little time left, it's very much a hit or miss situation, and Oblation couldn't pull it out of the bag. So we head upstairs to dorms and see if Oblation, again, on map point, can they close it out?
Yeah, I think too, not only was the tower rotate like okay, even with that little time left, I also think I think I called Vivid Giddy in the last round. I meant Vivid. Milano was 1 HP. Vivid only needs to land 1 bullet, and he can cover Inrio's plant. But he whiffs the fight. That one fight could have changed the course of the round. Of course, you can't put it all on Vivid's shoulders. There were a lot of mistakes in that round for the rest of his team as well to, you know, put himself in that position. But that was kind of one of those clinchers where it had Vivid landed the shot, round could have definitely gone a different way. But Milano was just better in that fight. Massive 3K for him. Gomez was shut down very early, and that is the very first round this game where the opening pick curse is broken. Gomez died first, yet Moneyball still took the round.
Moneyball at this stage are trying to see if they can't force round 12 and force OT, but Oblation attacked this side in, what was it? It was round 8 and couldn't make it happen because Gomez was all over the map. Whether Gomez has the same kind of impact is yet to be determined, but I think it's fair to say on both sides of this game so far, it has come down to individual performances that have stalled out a lot of the attack on both sides. It's come down to a 4K from Benji, Arrow getting 3Ks and creating impact by running away, Milano getting 3Ks at really critical moments, Gomez popping off when he needs to. But it's come down to what one player is capable of doing and not necessarily the team as a whole. In Oblation, we know that they're more of a stronger team. They're in Challenge League. They've stuck together. They are by no means a slacker roster. However, it doesn't seem as though they're nearly as coordinated because they're letting a team like MONEYBALL, who does play this more fast and loose style, get 4 rounds on them thus far.
Did Milano just impact himself down to 25 HP? I don't know what those explosions were from. I think I think Ocho just said, he think he may have been trying to impact trick and just missed, and now he's almost dead. He was probably trying to impact trick the games wall, which is really the only wall you can do it on this site. Nade will send out from Aristotle. Will not find a pick, though. So far, the only damage being done in this entire round being to Milano from himself, and a very tiny bit of chip onto Fish. Through the window, though, it's a nice spam coming out, and Louise is very lit up, but Inrio's been down from, I believe, below, though there's no finisher. Pickup will come from Vivid, so no kill for MONEYBALL just yet, but there is one entry for Oblation. Arrow finds Beastly. That is the Maestro now dead, and Beastly's been a good player so far through the last couple rounds, and Benji will find 2. It's just Milano and Louise all of a sudden, the duo of Frenchies now to clutch up the round for MONEYBALL against all 5 players of Oblation still left up. Many different positions being taken up by these attackers. They're spread out as Milano finds one, Louise is traded off, and Benji finds Milano. Oblation will finally take the map. They win on a scoreline of 7-4.
It only took 2 attacking round wins for Oblation to close things out, and they did. MONEYBALL don't have an answer, especially on their own attacks. That's what really confused me the most. They might have had a chance to make things a lot closer and out of 5-1 half if their attacks were more coordinated or weren't nearly as linear and as predictable as they. Now we head to Villa, Oblation's own map pick. Will we see a 2-0 or an Oblation, or sorry, will MONEYBALL be able to bounce back?
Well, I can say with certainty that it's going to be an uphill battle. Before CL Oblation, before they were the Oregon team, they were the Villa team. Villa was one of their best maps for a very long time. So it should be interesting seeing them back on it. I don't think I've seen them play it in a while. So hopefully they're not rusty. Ace will be the first ban from MONEYBALL. Very standard ban on Villa. You want to get rid of those ranged hard breachers, especially ones that are a little bit harder to impact trick and bandit trick and Kaid trick and all that stuff. Thatcher will also be banned, pretty much guaranteeing that Maverick is going to be played a lot of these rounds, also leaving Capitao still up, and leaving the newly reworked Hibana still up. Defending bans, I imagine, would probably be pretty standard too, probably Mira, Valkyrie. Yeah, there's the Valkyrie from Oblation, not wanting to deal with that, not wanting to give MONEYBALL the Valkyrie that they so dearly love running. Oregon, not really a Valkyrie map. Villa, definitely a Valkyrie map. And with how aggressively MONEYBALL play, Oblation do not want to enable that.
Maestro, Mira. Called it! Not like there was really anything to call. It was going to be one
Mira
or the
last
other.
map.
They did, and they just really don't want to have to worry about that one. Though we also didn't see Valkyrie played, even though Valkyrie was not banned. It was instead the Kaid ban on Oregon, and I wonder if that's more because they don't want to worry about Inrio running it again.
I think it was also because Thatcher and Maverick were banned, but now only Thatcher's banned. Fish is Cav. All right, never mind. Milano's Cav. Okay.
Wait,
that's a 6 pick. That's got to be a 6 pick.
That has to be a 6 pick, or it's Fish. It's either Milano or Ella. One of them 6s.
There's no
way. Surely? Yeah, there it goes. All right. No, the use of the Ella is supposed to make sense.
Wait. What? Cav! On a Frenchie!
No one ever sees the Cav to Cav 6th pick. That's a genius strategy. No one ever sees that coming. And that's Fish without the shield and is instead running it with barbed wire.
Milano has a suppressed SMG. I don't like
Do I like this? I don't know if I like this. This is an interesting squad setup.
What the hell is Caveira's? The M12, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be the M12.
That does literally no damage.
Especially when it's suppressed. Yeah, I was about to say, that seems like I think that is a pretty darn easy way of being able to just roam around the map with all the intel. But it's a Cav, it's a Pulse, it's an Ella with Barb, not a Shield, so we're not relying on Util Clear, and we're on Kitchen. So apologies for the delay. We are trying to see if we can't refresh our clean feed and get back into the game with a little bit less in the way of stuttering.
Yeah.
I think we just did. Nice! So we lost basically nothing. That's an FO12 Ella as well, not running the Scorpions. So is Fish just gonna... I think he was sitting at the top of Astro's stairs and he was prone. Is he really waiting for someone to come through the window?
Through the window. That would be pretty fun.
Oh! Goodbye,
Hey,
Gomez. Here comes Benji as he storms into the library. I didn't even see the outline on my feed that there was someone sitting inside living room, but hey, Benji finds the kill. He's so far definitely proving that he was worthy of this roster spot after the collapse of Joe Esports. And again, 18 kills on the previous map, and he opens things up with less than a minute expended on the round.
Yeah, insane stuff from Benji Mula so far through, well, the first map and the first round of map 2. MONEYBALL will now continue to fight from behind in both man count and HP and utility, as their Cav is down to half. Don't really have a lot for the plant, as now their only form of plant denial goes down after he finds a kill on Arrow. Inrio is just in. He has now just walked into dining room, and he is fishing for picks. Unfortunately, his control might not mean a lot for now, as the diffuser's been down, though Vivid will collect it and start to make the rotate. Inrio is very wary of a player coming in from his backside, but for now, he will just hold an angle. And I'm not too sure if MONEYBALL are privy to this information. On the flank, though, Iggy goes down. Milano could find the interrogation, and there we go! Free intel for MONEYBALL. Now going to be able to collapse on these attackers. Inrio's position no longer safe, battling around with this FO12 Ella, but he'll be shot in the back, and that's an easy kill. And no, it's actually from above, as Luis uses those wall hacks to his advantage. Benji has also been down. Could it be a second interrogation? And it is! 2 times! But no, Vivid does trade him out. Fish and Louise, now the last 2 attackers, though they know exactly where Vivid is. He'll throw out a stun. He'll try to make his way around. It looks like the rotate's going to be China. No. He'll try and dip into Memorial instead. No, he looks like he's just confused, writhing in the wind. He's got nowhere to go. He'll wade through the barbed wire. He sees the player, and no, the FO12 is not the gun you want in that situation. It's a triple go for Vivid, but he does not know that Luis has dropped the laundry hatch. MONEYBALL will win round number 1 after back-to-back interrogations on the Cav of Milano.
It's not just that you bring a Cav. It's that you bring a Cav and get 1 interrogation, but it's not even just 1, it's 2. Like, good play, first of all. I don't fault Milano for bringing the Cav in that case. Congratulations for 6 picking off of it, and I don't think anyone from Oblation expected the Cav to remain in play. If anything, I said it was a toss-up between either the Ella or the Caveira to get 6th pick off of in that round, and both of them ended up netting plenty of kills. There was all the pressure applied. It wasn't a bad call. It worked. And, oh, not again. Fish. No. You can't do this again, man. We already had 1 round of interrogations. We don't need another one.
Ooh.
He's not getting off of it.
2 times. All right. And a cap can.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
that is also a...
Louise on the cap can.
He also had 2 kills. And we didn't pay that much attention to it because we were too fixated on Milano getting the interrogation.
One of them was from the interrogation. Remember when Inrio was inside the site and it was like, ha 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 ha, I have the control. And then the interrogation happened and Luis shot him through the floor.
Yeah, he was upstairs as Vigil. He had the vertical angle, and no one from Oblation went upstairs to clear him.
Then he hopped down the hatch, and Vivid didn't hear it. Despite Vivid getting 3 kills, he could not clutch out the 1v1. But I'm excited to see if Fish is able to do as well as Milano did. The ankle biters.
I was gonna say.
Oh, that one's at head height. That's weird.
This one honestly would have made more sense if either one of these teams were playing super aggressive on attack. If anything, on the previous map, it was MONEYBALL playing a little bit more aggro on their own attacking strategies. Fish, I don't know if he's glitching, but
why is he like
he's swimming in the ferns. He's pretending to be a dolphin. I'm confused about whether he was. No, I didn't think he was like glitched into it and they like couldn't get out of it. That's
they
one of those
found the
situations where you get into a weird position, then you hold down the key, the directional key closest to the wall, and then you're able to stick in that position for as long as you keep holding it down, and he was just on top of the flower pot. Alright, well, it's weird, but it doesn't change the outcome of the round. He instead rotates all the way back down to basement, and we're heading to AV Games for round number 2. Oblation can work a little bit more magic here, as now Fish has been put all the way down on the basement as opposed to being 2 floors above, but it will require someone from Oblation to go down and clear him at some stage. Because a little bit of help does Benji, but it'll be Giddy to open things up. Down goes Milano, so one of the parts of that heavy roam's been nullified as the Vigil is eliminated, and now, with half the round to go, Oblation have more time to work with.
Inrio and Giddy both trade some blows with what appears to be Gomez, and Moneyball again fighting from behind, but in the last round they were able to recover it. They can more than likely do it again. Oh, are they trying to do the Hibana trick? They're gonna open up the bottom with the 4, but no, unfortunately it was impacted by, I believe, Beastly. He's got no more, so the X-Kairos will go off. Whether or not they're gonna be doing the new Hibana trick or just opening up a sightline, the job will be done for now. Fish will finish off Inrio with the pistol, but no, for some reason, Beastly decides he's going to challenge Red Landing. Look at taken out by Aristotle, while Gomez has also fallen in the meantime. Now, it's the 2 unorthodox picks of Fish and Louise, as Fish is somehow allowed to skate by, but cannot win the re-engagement against Vivid. It's a double kill for the Hibana. It's just Louise, it's the Cap Can in a 1 versus 4. He's got C4 in his pocket, but it looks like they know where he is. Well, they certainly know where he is now. He takes Giddy off the board, 1v3. Arrow with the diffuser in hand, looking like he wants to try and go for the plant behind the blue bar, but Benji, I don't know why I said blue bar, behind the bar, as Benji gets his head taken off. The cover now dead. Arrow is just going to keep resuming it, though. I'm not sure where Vivid is. He's nowhere to be found so far. Arrow could be exposed. Louise will throw the nitro cell over, but it won't find a kill shot out of midair. Beautiful shots from Arrow with the slow firing AK. We'll throw in an air jab just for good measure to lock Louise inside the vault as well. The time will start to bleed away. Louise will try and prone through vault. He actually makes his way through the small Hibana hole, small enough, and he gets the flank off on Vivid. A triple kill now for the Hibana. He knows that Arrow was behind the bar, but no, Arrow has since moved. He's challenging vault, and Louise has no idea. Oblation take round number 2 in the post plant.
If that hole was made just a little bit bigger, it would have come back to bite Oblation in the butt, because Capcan moves through it, finds Hibana, and just as he worms his way through the same hole again, there's the Nomad. If it was made a little bit bigger and Capcan could have moved faster, that might have been a Moneyball round. Not to be so. Successful Aviator Games attack for the Oblation. They're trying to end this series quickly with only 1 more map, and this is their selection because this is elimination territory. Moneyball had a pretty decent showing at the beginning of the CCS season when they won their first matchup, and since then it's been a little bit more up and down. They're trying to keep themselves in contention for that grand final spot. If you cast your mind back to the previous series, that was an Ape victory and eliminated Project Neo. The winner of this match faces Ape for the opportunity. 1 more opportunity in the leg in the CCS bracket. Ahead of the grand final. The loser is out for good.
And that's not great.
No, that's not.
Not for either. I also just noticed too, our beloved other observer, Ty, whom we all love, unequivocally.
We do love Ty.
Unconditionally. He was saying, he said, please, yes, we love you too, Ocho, don't worry. Ty
Quiet,
said,
Ocho, shut up, Ty's here.
Ty said, please get an interrogation to fill my soul. And I just noticed while Milano was getting, he's just screaming yes in chat. It's just like, yes!
The feeling of getting an
yes.
interrogation in comp is like no other feeling I think you can get. It's probably the biggest serotonin boost you have the chance to get in competitive.
Dude, that felt like when Jonas got the interrogation at the Paris
Everyone
major.
compares it to the Jonas interrogation because that's the only really notable one that ever happened in pro play.
Oh, dude, that was iconic.
It was like, it got the crowd roaring
Just
and
kidding,
everything.
he plays for Sonics.
It got us roaring too. Or I mean, it got you roaring because you were casting it, but I was like silently fist pumping and my mouth was wide open and I was like
punching the air, but in a positive way.
Not in a frustrated manner. Here comes Benjamin Currency. 1 kill to open things up on round 1, and he's been a little silent since then, but it's only round 3 and he's still can force the issue more as this round progresses. Beastly playing Maestro has been stuck on that role, or not stuck on it, he's been playing it to a pretty advantageous position this entire time, just trying to force drones and intel out of the way, and means that Oblation's push has stalled, at least until they can get more intel on where the rest of Moneyball is situated. None of it, by the way, appears to be on a deep roam. It looks like all the blue silhouettes that you see appear to be on the bomb side, as the deep roam from the other parts of the top floor of Villa have already been cleared out. So if Oblation use this time effectively, they can make their push in. It's just a matter of how the cams get cleared. What are you laughing at?
It's the second time in a row that he's missed the evil eye. And, alright, Fish is on red stairs. He gets one, but he's traded back by Benji Mula, so Giddy off the board, unfortunately for Oblation. I would... trading a Legion for a Sledge at this point in the meta with the Legion nerfs, I think I would take that. You knock nades off the board, and now there's significantly less utility to clear the things like the Maestro bubbles and the Wamai gadgets and Banshees and stuff like that. Milano, who was tucked in the corner, gets flushed out, and Inrio finds him on the cross with his pre-fire, as yet again, Vivid will go ahead and just use the 4 cluster for the Hibana charges to open the study walls. Oblation so far having a little bit more manpower whilst pushing the site, but as I say that, Benji Mula in the classic hall falls to Louise. A good kill for the Malusi, and Louise, though having a bit of a slow game last map, is now 6-1 in 2 rounds. Insane play from him so far, and we're evened out to a 3-on-3 going into the last 30 seconds. Arrow will yet again be the planter for Oblation. He got it down in the last round, looking to do it behind the table, or no, looking like it's behind the vault. No C4 is actually on the board at all for this defense, and the swing does not work out. Adequate cover from Inrio. He not only finds 1, but he finds 2. He'll finally be traded back by Louise, but yet again, for the second time in a row, it's a clutch situation for the Frenchie. Arrow on just about half HP, though Louise lower, and Vivid still full. Vivid is playing inside of study. It doesn't look like Louise is aware of it. His feet will not get lit up, though. It's a triple kill, nearly finding the 4th. Pistol out, prone behind the desk, and he wins the battle! Louise with a quad kill and a massive post-plant clutch as the last 2 players of Oblation cannot connect the shots. Moneyball take the lead 2-1.
9-1 for Louise through 3 rounds. 5 kills already before round 3. 4 more and a clutch to boot for the Frenchie. Unbelievable play, and it puts Moneyball again in the lead on Oblation's map pick. That was absolutely stellar. Now, to bring things back a little bit, that wouldn't have been nearly as possible were it not for Oblation, again, taking their sweet time on the attack. It was a lot of intel denial on the side of Moneyball. Maestro cams to flush drones away from critical angles, bodies positioned in spots where Oblation can't quite seem to get the hang of them, and it means Oblation aren't able to push as fast as they might have liked. They can't get aggressive. They haven't been that aggressive on their attacks thus far. It's been a lot more measured, a lot more paced. Moneyball are taking advantage of that so far. It's only round 4. However, because this is Oblation's map pick and it's Villa, you would think that the way it's begun to be played recently might lend itself more towards an attacking favored half, but instead, Moneyball are proving just the opposite.
That was, wow. I mean, Louise. I thought, too, despite the lack of time, Oblation were able to get the plant down because no C4 on the side of Moneyball, no plant denial whatsoever because the Malusi has impacts and not C4, again. And the 2 players who swing the planter, namely Beastly and I believe Gomez, lined up for Inrio. And Inrio got both those kills. Louise is there for the refag, and that is post-plant. And Louise is such low HP. If Vivid lands the shots onto Louise's legs as he crosses through the prone Hibana holes, Oblation could win that round. Or, if the hole is bigger, allowing Vivid more time to shoot through the holes, Oblation could have won that round. But again, that's kind of the second time it's happened where Vivid was in a position where he needed to cover his teammate and needed to find that final frag in order to win. And again, it's not completely on his shoulders, but it's a bit of a misplay from him there. A good attempt from Oblation, but again, Louise 9-1 in 3 rounds. A 3.0 KPR so far through Villa. He has just been doing absolutely insane.
Well, we've got both a Mute and a Mozzie and a Vigil and a Cav and a Pulse. No one's necessarily a dedicated anchor. This is just info gathered and info denied on the side of Moneyball, and it's about to make Oblation's life hell. It's already begun to do that because Oblation can't acquire the intel they need before pushing to the bomb site. Even though most of the players still, again, seem to be closer to site, it doesn't mean that you can't still create disruption. Down goes Benji again. A really, really quiet one from them thus far. That's a, oof, big accusation from Fish in chat. However, it is still a 5v4 advantage, and Oblation will need to gun things a little bit harder than they have before. Mentioned it. I mean, if I'm called a cheater, I just take that as a compliment, man.
No, I think they're just screwing with him. they know Benji's not actually a cheater, of course. Fish, that was just a joke from Fish. Speaking of, the accuser walks down the red stairs and he's quickly silenced by Inrio. So we're back to an even 4v4, though I think everyone can agree that losing a Zofia, much more impactful than losing a Cav. Beastly is low. He could certainly be susceptible to a fight through the floor, but Inrio will start to slowly make his way up the pantry stairs. Is yet again fishing for a kill inside the site. So far, throughout these two dining attacks that Oblation have done, Inrio's only constants have been how early he's able to get not only adjacent to the site, but into the site itself. I believe that's Gomez, judging by the silhouette, holding the angle. If Inrio tries to push in, he's surely a dead man. There's no C4 on the Mute, though. There's one C4 left on the side of Milano. 20 seconds left, and that's when Inrio will make the push, and there you go. Holding the angle, that's a very easy kill for Gomez. There's an equalizer, though, from Giddy pushing into China. He finds two. Man advantage now in Oblation's favor, though the time most certainly is not. There's a flank from the Milano on the Mozzie. Giddy cannot connect, but Vivid's getting the plant down. Yet again, where's the denial from Moneyball? There's none. It's a post plant as Vivid finds Milano coming off the diffuser. It's just Luis in what seems to be his fourth clutch situation, a 1v2 with about 30 seconds to do it.
Luis doesn't have any intel on either of the players, but he'll make the swing, he'll find Arrow. Will the Nomad be the one to pop up? And sorry, not the Nomad, it's the Hibana. Can he find him across the bomb chassis? He finally does! Another post-plant clutch for Luis! This time a 2K in the dying seconds of the round with plenty of time on the diffuser. His second clutch in a row. Moneyball, they are racking up the rounds.
I mean, what Benji Mula did to Moneyball on Oregon, Louise is doing to Oblation here on Villa, just with the added insult to injury that they've been clutches.
Ocho, can I see the scoreboard on Louise real quick? I want to see if he has 11 kills or 12.
He's got 11, I believe, because that was at 2K.
11, yeah. The only two kills that he had were at the back end of that round. Good grief!
3.75 KPR. I am in shock. This
my single note for round 3 was Louise 4K counter clutch. My note for round 4 is Louise 2K counter clutch.
I mean,
it's like, bruh.
Even round 2. Round 2 was Louise 3K counter clutch. That was a post plant as well.
Yep.
Or, well, no, he wasn't able to clutch. He got 3K in the post plant and didn't get it in a 1v1. But it's still impressive. Right. That's his one death, by the way, was when he was put into, what, a 1v3, 1v4, something like that, and he got 3 and then couldn't find the last one.
Yep.
Luis has been absolutely stellar on Villa so far. I've been casting Luis, yet again, since I've been casting JJ, since, like, August of last year. And Luis, back on Team Nova earlier, he was an absolute monster. He was the first player, I always talk about him, he was the first player to ever just blow my freaking mind with how well he played. And then I know he started to get, he took a hit to his mentality, his play kind of started to drop off a bit, and holy hell am I glad it's picking up again. My son, the prodigal son Luis, has returned. It seems like he's just not letting Oblation catch a single
all right. Biased caster, you called him your son.
Listen.
Look, man, do you need to recuse yourself from the cast so that you don't get even more biased?
No, I'm not
Sir,
biased.
You can't pledge loyalty to him.
I just like Louis. Listen. I just got it.
That's like if I'm openly rooting for a team to win in the NA major. I mean, I was, because I had to stick it to Jesse. and prove that I had the biggest brain. But still,
I
come on, man. If you're gonna be biased, make it a little less obvious.
Not with Louise, at least. He's the exception.
Fine. You can have Louise and we'll have the rest of this game. So Fish is the first one to take a little bit of damage, presumably from the Nomad of Aristotle, who himself also has a massive chunk of his HP removed from the board. But Fish is going to move his way all the way back up and see if he can't try to help defend inside Wardrobe. We are back upstairs with another push onto Aviator not being possible, and for yet another round. Fish, he's already lost in 2 engagements, but he hasn't lost his life just yet, so he should be counting his lucky stars. But finally, he jumps down. There's the cross from Minrio, and Ablation now a 3v5 man advantage. The first time they've had something as substantial as this in quite some time, it seems like. Milano downstairs with a Nitro, so is Gomez, but Gomez isn't in a position where he can deny from below. That might be the plan for Ablation, and instead, it'll be Arrow to take down the Nitro Cell player. No longer can you deny by just chucking one up and pressing the button. Instead, it'll come down to Beastly and Gomez. There's a little bit of a chance, but it's 5 players to find. And Beastly, you gotta wing your frisbees a little bit better than that, my dude. Giddy finds Gomez, and now it's Beastly. Can he ace out? He has 1. He can't find 2. Ablation stopped the bleeding a little bit, seeing if they can't close their Villa attack at 3-3 next round.
My note for that round is killed Louise first. The guy can't clutch
Good point.
if you kill him early before you push the site. So way better job from Oblation. I think they decided, they were like, all right, let's take our time, but let's not take our time too much. That was a much faster site execute, I think. Helped by the fact that Fish was flushed out very early. Louise just kind of ran right into the sights of one of the attackers and died very early. And from there, after Louise died, it just seemed like the entire defense fell apart. That was really good from Oblation. Great adjustment. They're still trailing 3-2. Ideally for them, of course, would be the even half, which is kind of what we've started to see from Villa more commonly nowadays. It's less of the 4-2 defensive half map as it once was, and has kind of evened itself out. It'll be AVG, which which each team is 1-on-1, 1 and 1 on. 1 being an Ablation plant, a 1v4 for Louise, where he got 3 kills and couldn't clutch. And then another Ablation plant, where it was a 1v3 for Louise, and he did get the 4K clutch. So that kind of seems to be the deciding factor between this site so far.
I know I don't have chat open up at the moment in the middle of a cast, but I'm very confident that there are a couple individuals who are watching this match pretty intently to prepare themselves for whoever their opponent might be. I'm pretty sure. Hi, Forceful. How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. The coach, 4-8, coming off of their win in the previous series, is looking to see what things he can't exploit heading into their matchup on Thursday against either one of these 2 squads. Now, there are a lot of things that Moneyball have done well and done wrong, but Ablation, for the moment, going to Villa on attack seems to be not nearly as strong of a point for them, because again, Villa is starting to become more of an attacker haven. It's not so much the quadruple map shoved onto one map philosophy that it is on defense nearly as much, but Moneyball are kind of playing this almost normally.
And there's 2 kills going the way of Fish.
Wait a minute, we didn't hype that up enough. Oh my god, Fish with a double kill!
That was just like, Ablation smacked a window and Fish was just there.
Yeah.
And he killed the duo entry of Inrio and Benji, the 2 players that you probably would think wouldn't be caught off guard by a play like that. And Fish will still persist inside of bathrooms. So he's still, something that Ablation have to clear. It's just Vivid, Arrow, and Giddy now in a 3 versus 5. Arrow very tentative about walking through these windows as Fish is tucked in the corner right next to that master doorway. There's no angle Arrow can get on him because Fish now, with such low HP, will opt to play passively, as one probably should when you're 1 shot's worth of HP. And the other 2 attackers will start to push the study balcony. A nade flies out from Giddy, though it will not fall upon anyone, and that's a nice reaction from Giddy to shoot the C4 and deny a single or perhaps even a double kill from the defender who threw it. But Moneyball know that with such a man advantage, with such a positional advantage, all they have to do is sit and wait.
See, they don't need to get aggressive, even though their internal tendencies might be telling them, hey, go for the final couple of frags. But for right now, this is probably the smart play from Ablation. There's 2 members down. So put all three of them together and see if they can't go for trades and refrags across the board. And they're all just kind of buddying up. There's no one going for a flank anywhere else, and that is not going to destroy the Evil Eye. So that will still be employed. There comes Sledge. That's a guaranteed destruction of the intel, and he flicks around and finds Fish, but Fish was already incredibly low on HP, but it's the headshot, so it does not matter. Vivid now has more clearance to head in and go for the study wall and open up behind Bar, and a little bit more clearance now for Giddy to still watch if someone wants to peek 90, but no one from Moneyball seems to be heading that way. Vivid is going to open up more holes if he can, but now the Nomad has abandoned her position right next to him, so it's just the Sledge and the Habana trying to see if they have a way in while also watching the 90 corridor. At the same time, Milano can peek around the pillar and get this kill whenever he feels like it, and Giddy might not be looking at the right moment if he does. Windmill Milano peek the pressure from the window now means Milano will be forced away from it. Here comes the rappel. The kill comes in. 2 kills for Milano for free. It's all on Vivid. Can he find the last one? No. A 3K from Milano, and Moneyball shuts out a 4-2 half.
Wow, insane play there from Milano. 3 kills from him, 2 for Fish. They didn't even need anyone else in that round. It was just the Malusi and the Mozzie to do everything. And none of it was on the site. Fish's 2 kills were over towards Master. Poor drone work from Oblation. We're not ready for Fish to just decide to walk at the windows and shoot them. And then Milano persists inside of 90, knowing that they're largely pushing Classical Hall. Sure, they have some holes open in the study wall, but they were not big enough to actually go through. So where are you going to go? You know, have your teammates watch the study doorway into games, and you can watch 90. Unfortunately, that late rotate from Arrow was not to flank towards the connector or towards Master. It was to repel into the 90 window, which once you do that, that is a very obvious sound cue. You don't really have your gun up in time to fight with someone swinging that you didn't really know was there. And that was just a nice lineup for the Mozzie. Vivid was very low on HP at that final fight. And even if Vivid won that, there was very little chance for him in the round. Anyway, 4-2 half for Moneyball. And Oblation, on their map pick, are not looking so hot.
Kind of goes back to what I was mentioning before, if this will be kind of the classic way that Villa plays out from a round perspective, unless Moneyball have it in them to win 3 consecutive rounds on attack. For the side of Oblation, it will require more patience and more persistence as the rest of the map goes on. It's not the end of the world, though. I think this is only a little bit shocking because it's Moneyball on a roll where they definitely weren't on a roll on Oregon, so it's beginning to flip the script, so to speak. It's not like Oblation have just totally lost out. So, at least for the moment, Moneyball's attack on Oregon can be a source of comfort because it wasn't great. It was a lot of linear pushes from only one avenue of attack or only one side with no pressure from other parts of the map to help that main push succeed. So if that's the same play for Moneyball, then Oblation can rest easy. But if Moneyball are smart, and I'm sure they are, then they'll know that they need to adjust how they attack a little bit and have it be more multi-pronged.
Yeah, hopefully it's not one-dimensional like it was on Oregon. Hopefully they've made the proper adjustments. Oblation are going for a pretty interesting defense right now. They've got half the study walls unreinforced. They're soft, allowing them sight lines into study and use either for pushback or perhaps even sometimes we've seen teams solely use it as a scare tactic and make the attacking team think twice about just wandering into the room and trying to take that heads-on gunfight. It's been a minute 50 so far. Not much control has been taken from Moneyball. They've kind of pretty much just cleared out the downstairs and hung around on the study balcony. You'll find the Malusi of, I believe that's Arrow, sitting on red stairs, and Arrow does not back off nearly as far as Fish thought, but he'll be traded by the Zofia of Milano. Both of the Frenchies doing very well so far this map from Moneyball. It's an even 1-1 trade.
Half the round left. Beastly wants an angle. Milano's trying to force from downstairs as well, so they might have all of main stairs control assumed in just a moment's time. And at least for right now, Gomez and Louise, yep, they're all forcing back upstairs. There is no more downstairs clear that they are that worried about that they don't want to work their way upstairs and try to go for the execute. Now with a minute remaining, Oblation just trying to sit back on the side and not do anything overtly over the top. They can make things work. The only question is how much pressure does Moneyball want to apply? Because there's still some gadgetry left up. No one's pushed onto the site just yet. The Banshees are definitely pushing them back away. Milano only had a sliver of HP left, and Vivid's gas nade will take him down. Can Gomez win his fight on the red stairs? He can! Benji can't find the kill, but Gomez is oh so low. But now finally Beastly finds the frag he was looking for, and Inrio goes down. More Toxic Babes come through. There's only so much more denial left in the back pocket of Vivid, but Gomez so low after the engagement with Benji on red stairs. How much does he want to try to push this?
Giddy's playing in and around that open wall as well. It seems like he's got a sightline on the doorway, and Vivid using that gas canister so far, getting 2 kills. Gomez falls back to an even 2v2, but no more plant denial for the defense. Beastly will start to push up aggressively as Luis tries to go for the plants. Curiously enough on the Nomad, and Giddy gets shot through the wall. Beastly looking for the second. Where's Vivid? He's wrapped around towards Study, but no, he can't see the planter. He can't even see the cover of Beastly. It's a post-plant now, and through sprinting, he's likely got his position known. He downs Luis, but Beastly's prone next to the corner. His spot will be known. The shotgun close does not work. He does not believe in the M590 hard enough, and thus Beastly gets the final kill. Moneyball will still hold the lead 5-2.
The M590 doesn't fail you. You fail the M590.
Indeed. Amen.
Oh, I know that saying that makes it seem like Vivid just got cursed by the siege gods, but
I can't believe because I think it's too, after this update, have you noticed the shotgun spread is wider?
It feels a lot less controlled, almost like someone unscrewed a choke that would have gone onto the shotgun in a sense. And also I think
weird.
the reticle also feels a little bit different. I noticed it on the test server.
The reticle, the hipfire reticle is definitely wider.
Definitely is, but the thing that I was like, wait, I thought they didn't make any adjustments to it, and there were people that were telling me, no, there are no adjustments. It's just a test server thing. You know how the TS can be with recoil and guns feeling different. I'm like, this is definitely the same case, and I wonder if that just shot Vivid in the butt.
Speaking of quote-unquote recoil adjustments, if you guys don't know, PSA, I'm sure you know you guys are all around Twitter already, but PSA, for some reason with this new update, your sensitivity can sometimes overshoot or undershoot when flicking and turning and stuff like that. If you've noticed that your aim feels off, to fix it, turn off raw input.
Yeah, there was a little bit of troubleshooting about that this morning when the patch went live. We're just like, wait a second.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it on Twitter yet, turn off raw input in your game. Because Lord knows it was screwing people in ranked. Hopefully it doesn't screw people in comp.
I think at this point, because this is like, this stage of CCS for North America was long enough after the patch came out that players could have jumped on it, seen how it felt, and then didn't jump into a competitive match straight away. That hopefully they've made the case.
Everyone was talking about, like, I think someone tweeted, I forgot who it was, who was like, do I just suck this season, or does something feel weird?
Definitely that you just suck. Absolutely.
Oh wait, I didn't tweet that. I don't have to feel bad.
Okay, good. I was about to make a you suck joke, but I mean you suck anyway. So.
Oh man, I'm 3-0 on my placement so far. I got a 1.4 KD.
Hey, you want to place after this is done?
Sure.
Hey, cool. See, that's how you make friends, kids. Just ask anyone to interact with you.
Quote unquote networking.
It's like we didn't know each other as friends before this. So. Oblation need to stop Moneyball's advances. They're trying. They nearly had it in the bag in the last round, but it slipped away from them within the last 20 seconds. It was oh so close. However, Moneyball did seem a little bit unhinged on that attack, so it wasn't the most cohesive unit to just storm right in and go for a kill, but it also wasn't as bad as their organ attack. So there's a couple of different factors you can consider, but Oblation have opted not to go for the crazy heavy roam, and most players are just sticking on site and waiting for him. So how will Moneyball clear the utility? How will they move their players in? And how will they respond? The answer appears to be 4 players on landing.
Yeah, well, never mind. No longer 4 players on landing, as 2 of them just vault right into the carpet hallway, desperately hunting this roamer, but said roamer will knock out Fish. One of the hunters becomes the hunted. Inrio will take the very first kill of this round. So far, he and Benji Mula not really having as good of a game as they did last time, but Inrio, as soon as he gets Jackal tracked, he knows the push is coming. Excellent game sense from him. He knocks out Milano, and now the Hibana falls as well to a flank from Benji Mula. Finally, the sorely missed entry fraggers to the defense before Oblation start to heat up. Inrio still downstairs. He'll find a third on the Louise. All of a sudden, it's just Gomez. He finally finds the trade, but It's the first kill for his team in this round. It's a 1v4. He'll have to ace in the next 40 seconds. It's 10 seconds on average to find each of these kills. I don't really think he's going to have much chance with the plants. He's going to have to go for these picks, but he's getting flanked from all sides. Nice flick onto Giddy. Good night to the Wamai. SMG 11 out. He's trying to find the player that's backed into 90, but there's a crossfire. Vivid on the red landing will finish things off. Oblation finally stopped the bleeding. They take their third round.
Vivid grabs the last kill and makes up for the clutch that he couldn't get on round 7. It's a good job to him. Question is now, do we head back to Aviator or do we take Kitchen? Or... oh, no, wait. Was that an Aviator defense? It had to have been because I thought they were on Statue, but they were just pushing Statue. I need to reconstruct my notes. I'm dumb. Very dumb. I don't know why I was hired to do any of this kind of stuff. I'm trash at it. I'm just a clout chaser. And one day I'll go back to the silver gold mine. Or silver mine where I belong.
That's okay.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Pro, validate me.
No.
Harrison!
Why would... you know what's confusing? Why did they put Louise? Guy who's 11... well, previously who was 11-2, now 11-3. On Nomad.
You already have proof that in this game he's caught fire, so why not stick him on a roll where he doesn't have to? And just have this, the secure knowledge of knowing that if someone does enter his crosshair, he will find the kill. He won't lose it. It's just like, oh, okay, hey, you've done your job.
He's Jackal now.
That's tough. He is Jackal, but he hasn't done anything over the course of attack much, has he? Because he was 9-1,
yeah,
and then he's gotten 2 kills in the past 4 rounds combined. He has 2 deaths in that time frame.
He had
as well.
11 at the end of the defense. I remember he had 9 in 3 rounds, then got the 1v2 and he was at 11, and he hasn't gotten a kill since round 4. Although he hadn't died since round 5 up until the previous. And of course, he did plant on round number 7. And he'll get the opening kill in this round. Well, there we go. Just as we talk about Louise not getting a kill, he'll get the entry frag on Enrio.
No, so the inverse Caster's Curse. Or no, that's legit Caster's Curse, because we were talking about how he wasn't doing all that much
reverse.
to the attack.
Positive Caster's Curse.
Won't ever be able to escape that part of my career. Anyway, Oblation, it's more of a 5v5 situation. Again, the 6th man of having the clock and the knowledge that the attackers have to come to you means that you still can lose a player on your own defensive half, and it's not the end of the world. However, Enrio has been showing up in a match where Oblation hasn't really been as aggressive or as strong. To lose somebody with 8 kills really isn't the thing you want to start out with, but it really all depends on how fast and hard Moneyball want to play this, and they want to play it pretty darn hard. Down goes the Wamai, so now the impact tricks, if they come through, need to come from Giddy's side of the board. There still is 1 Nitro in the back pocket of Arrow if he's able to get into position to use it. Wano setting up his own flanks. Not a single sliver of HP has been taken off the side of Moneyball, so they sit firmly in the advantage. They're trying to push this onto map point. Can they do it? Potentially send us to Clubhouse.
Well, they've got a minute and a half, well, a minute 25 now to hold out. Oblation with only 3 members left against the 5 of Moneyball. Fish now slowly crouch. Doesn't matter as Gomez. Just Giddy and Vivid as wow. Okay, that's a great swing by Giddy, but unfortunately, it does not matter as Luisa Milano find 1 pick each. Moneyball will secure map point. They are just 1 round away from sending us to Clubhouse.
Oblation just started in position for refrags, and that's a common thing across all of this map, honestly. I think that may not have been nearly as much of a priority for them on Oregon when they were just winning their gunfights straight out, and they were also relying a lot on Benji with the 18 kills he had in the previous map. I wonder if because they're not getting an 18 kill player on this one, that it also means they're not able to perform as effectively. But when one of them dies, when any member of Oblation dies, to find someone to get that kill cleaned back up again and turn it into a 4 versus 4, or just make it a 1v1 trade, is not there, is not present for Oblation. They can correct it. I believe that they can. They've got the wherewithal to be able to do that, but now you sit with the just impending pressure of it being match point, and this was your map pick. To win your opponent's map pick is nice, but when it happens to you, it's considerably not as nice.
I wonder if we're gonna have the old each team takes each other's map picks. And then it goes on to Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a toss-up. I have no clue who's gonna win that map. That's gonna be weird. Like,
I kind of want to say off the cuff it would be Oblation because CL experience against a Favela's team that's beaten them on it multiple times. You would think they would figure out why they lost to it against Favela's so many times, but it's also not the exact same roster look either from those CL games. Not just because Arrow's coming in and he wanted to play during the CCS season, but because Benji hasn't been with this team any longer in competitive than just this match this far.
I guess you could say they've been throwing Oblation plenty of curveballs. That's a
I appreciate the
baseball
reference.
joke.
Yeah, it is. I've been looking for a reason to make baseball jokes because I love the movie Moneyball.
Dude, I have one planned.
What are you waiting for? A clutch?
No, it's the end of the match.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a closer.
Would you save it for the end of the map or the end of the match?
The match.
All right.
Trust.
So even if they win this one, you won't spoil it yet. Got it.
Hopefully I actually remember to say it.
I'll remind you of what the quip was, because if they don't win Clubhouse, then you won't have another opportunity to say it. So. Here comes the Nitro, down goes Fish. That was perfectly well scouted. He just kind of waited back, seeing if he couldn't get the sound cue, and he absolutely had it. Catches Fish on drones. That is his 10th death already for the Ash. Not nearly as effectual as we estimated he might be when we previewed him at the beginning of this matchup. And on the opposite side of things, Inrio, one that we also scouted before this match started, 8-8, and he's looking for his own kill, getting a little bit thirsty for it. Arrow's gone to the basement, also trying to see if he can't flank, but Beasley might have already determined that that's what's going on, and he'll be outside. He won't get caught on the stairs himself.
Things just slowed down from Moneyball. They lost Fish, and they were like, all right, hold it. We gotta reevaluate. Took out the Banshee in the hallway by China. The player on bottom red has not been called out. Milano taking some early damage and looking quite surprised that Arrow was still hanging out where he had recently gotten the kill onto Fish. There's still an upstairs player as well for Oblation. Inrio is sitting up top, watching the carpet hallway with keen eyes, and that 1.5 on the Roni, though, no! He falls off the angle, he allows Milano inside, though Giddy finds a pick, and no, Milano's caught with a Claymore out, and Giddy gets another! It's a triple kill for the Pulse as Luis has been downed, and Gomez doesn't look like he's gonna go for the res either. It's a 4 versus 1 for the Sledge as Vivid unfortunately actually steals the 3K from the Pulse. 2 players swing Gomez simultaneously, and as he runs away, Inrio takes the pistol out and chases him down. Oblation will stave off map 3 for now as they take their 4th point.
I think the UI glitched out for half a second there, because when we cut back to Gomez, it was just him, but it said 2v4.
Yeah, it was a little odd.
That was a little bit weird. But all right, Moneyball can let that one slip, because Oblation still have to win 2 more in a row. The only problem is, if you let them win 2 more in a row, then things, when we get to overtime, are infinitely more unstable, shall we say. And if we do get to OT, it would mean that we have 2-4-2 halves where the defense wins out, and Oblation have selected defense first in overtime. So if you're Moneyball, it stops here. Don't allow Oblation to win another round and make it 6-5, because if they do, then everything is just a lot more unpredictable. So this round in particular, probably a little bit more high stakes than some people might give it credit for. And again, the match itself is high stakes. One of these teams is going home after this matchup, and only one of them will be able to face Ape. Also, by the way, a very quick reminder of what the bracket itself looks like. Winner of this game faces Ape, and the winner of the Ape game on Thursday faces the loser of Aerial Arise and Wichita Oblivion for a spot in the grand final through the loser's bracket. There is still a very clear-cut path for one of these teams to make it. It's entirely possible it might not be Ape that goes all the way to the grand final. It might be a grand final between Wichita and Aerial Arise. We don't yet know, but there's still an opportunity for one of these 2 teams to make their mark, and they're not out of the running just yet. MONEYBALL desperately trying to stave off their own loss.
MONEYBALL, who got sent to the lower bracket by Aerial Arise.
So they want a rematch somewhere if they can get it.
They do. They're hungry for revenge. Fish is on Blackbeard. Talk about revenge. He didn't want to... He got killed. Or Giddy brought out the Blackbeard on Oregon, and Fish said, oh, no. All right. Villa. I'm bringing it out. He's 4-10. Similar situation to Giddy as well.
Yeah.
He needs a little bit of help on the fragging side of things. As Inrio is still currently outdoing him solely on the scoreboard, but it's a master side clear for MONEYBALL that you often see on a study take, and it seems like all the players are dedicated over the side, with the exception of the Blackbeard himself, currently repelled outside the study balcony, watching and daring a defender to cross into his line of sight.
A minute left. It's all an intel game right now from MONEYBALL, which they've been doing a much better job on Villa than they did on Oregon about having drones be positioned in places where Oblation won't see them and using the intel and even just trying to get frags off of individual drones. It's worked out pretty well. Some of them seem to be standard. The one in Library hasn't moved around a lot. They've always had one sitting inside Astra office at any point during this match thus far. I wonder if that trend will still continue, at least for Fish. I wonder why we're focusing on Fish so much. There we go. It's like he's still droning. Just let the man drone. But he is AFK, at least for this exact second, so we'll see if he is still able to impact the round or not. Milano, with two other players with him, is now at the top of landing, so we've seen this one already. This was actually successful last time they had this many people clustered up, but now the split comes through, and Gomez with Habana support with Beastly are now pushing back through the 90 corridor. Gomez can take down that Maestro Cam, but not if there's someone watching the corridor in the first place, and it might be a little bit harder for MONEYBALL to clear the intel because Oblation are just waiting and ready for someone to peek.
Yeah, you see, Benji does not want to, Gomez does not want to sledgehammer it because Benji Mula is watching from behind the shield. Instead, he will just throw out an uncooked nade, and the Maestro Evil Eye, knowing that its death is soon, just makes a last-ditch effort to put some zaps and some chip damage onto the sledge, do what he can before the nade eventually finishes it off. Now Hibana opening up the wall into Vault, but appears there's a mute jammer, so Gomez will have to allocate one of his frag grenades, destroy the jammer, and there you go. Now the X-Kairos charges can go ahead and ring out. There's only 30 seconds left in this round, and it's still a 5v5. Not a single kill has been had by either side, as Giddy, instead of walking away from Vault after it's been opened, instead will opt to take the close angle with the Alda and fight for his life. There's even still a player inside of Study, despite Fish being on the balcony. Interestingly enough, he's waiting for the perfect moment to strike, but it might be too late, as Benji finds Beastly. Plant trying to go down from this attack, as there's the kill from Fish, but it might be too late. Kills all across the board. The scoreboard lights up orange, and it's just Fish alone in a 1v4, and he can't find anything. Oblation will yet again stave off defeat. They take round 11, and they put themselves 1 point away from bringing us to overtime.
The whole round is saved from a double kill off a Nitro Cell from Inrio. I don't know if he was playing upstairs or if he was underneath the bomb site and just waited for the right moment to rip it, because it did seem as though MONEYBALL's downstairs clear didn't really affect anything. They had maybe had bodies watching like the top of staircases, but that was it. They didn't allocate any players towards a bottom floor roam, so that could have been the play. But regardless of that, the fact that we now sit on 6-5 means it's overtime or bust, and we're on defense on Villa. So far for this map, it has progressed to mostly defensive round wins. It would mean that both sides are 4-2 in favor of the defense, and we now head back to Trophy, which I believe last time was in fact won by MONEYBALL. So this is the weakest site that Oblation have had so far, but they can still force OT. This is still an opportunity for a 2-0. It's possible. It's not out of their hands. Though because of the site selection, I worry things might be a little bit too far down south for Oblation.
You know, I'm kind of feeling OT.
I'm down for OT.
I think we're gonna have OT. I don't see MONEYBALL taking this round, not after the adjustments that Oblation has made, which is close to the chest, pull back, and wait. They really had no roam game in that last round, and on Dining, they had one guy upstairs. Everyone else is pretty, again, close to the site. MONEYBALL, when they go fishing for the kills, no pun intended,
Had to say it at some point.
Our left wanted. Oblation been playing very passively, and I think it's been working a lot better on their defenses. So, if Trophy tends to play out the same way, Oblation play very passive. They play on the site, they sit, hold the angles, hold the crosses, and wait for MONEYBALL to run out of time and force into the plant. I think we see OT. If Oblation get a little bit too aggressive and too comfortable because of their recent round wins and press the issue, which is what they want considering the gun skill, or the improvement in gun skill they've had from the last map to this, then I think they end at 7-5. It all depends on how Oblation decide to defend this site.
That's true, and it's also CCS, which means you don't have to get super strategical, but you do still want to stall out for as much time as possible. So this round will come down to how much MONEYBALL forced their attack down Oblation's throat. It's possible, just a matter of how quick everything starts to fall into place. Trying to clear the utility off the wall is Milano. I don't know if he can get the charge off. Well, he'll get the far left one, at the very least, even though the two panels on the right-hand side cannot be cleared yet. Maybe the opportunity to shoot the electric ball off the wall will come after that charge detonates, but it still won't. At least for the moment, though, you can't put it back on the wall. That charge will stay there as Giddy is dead. So Milano now, with a little bit of pressure from both the Habana and the Sledge. It's a three-prong attack coming from Bedroom. Two more are now across the map. Actually, no, Louise. There's, look, all four players for MONEYBALL situated so close to Bedroom and Bathroom that it might come down to Fish across the map trying to create more impact. But even he can rotate from that side, and he's just acting as flank watch.
He doesn't have any nades, though, so he can't just Eska his way into Astro by flushing the player out of the desk, but Fish, using the gun, doesn't even need the nades. Goodbye to Benji, but no, there's the crossfire being held from the doorway. Arrow finds Fish, and finally, there is one kill for Oblation. A 3 versus 4 to bring us to OT as the rest of MONEYBALL are hungry for this win and hungry for a map 3. Here comes the push in, that's a great flick from Milano. Down goes Inrio, whiff of the fight from him. Vivid's still inside of Astro. He'll push out from behind the shield, but Arrow is holding on fervently. A triple kill for him, and now it's even 2-2. Because the player on the Astro stairs, and the SMG-11 player knows, but no, he'll whiff the fight. Gomez down to low HP, and Arrow will have to ace if he wants to win it out. He hears the Banshee going off, but no, Gomez finishes him off. A 3K for Arrow is not enough, and MONEYBALL will bring us to map 3.
Oblation can't win Statue to save their life. 2 defensive attempts and 2 utter whiffs. And now MONEYBALL, they're looking for one more map. They want to knock the Challenger League team out of contention for that CCS Grand Final, and they're so far one map away from doing it. I'm feeling overtime. I honestly.
No, I don't think that was Gomez. Gomez is still young, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's like 18. Maybe I can look it up. Is it
I'm trying to
Twitter profile? Yeah, he's 18.
Okay, there you go. Never
Gomez is
mind.
18.
So it wasn't Gomez, though. I swear you were saying that about somebody, and now I'm like, who? I don't want to like tarnish Gomez's name. I feel bad that I said that.
I looked on Fish's profile to see if he has his age, because I don't know if he's 18 or not, but I see his most recent tweet is 2 hours ago. If I lose this CCS game, my excuse is that there's no elo if I won. So that kind of speaks to how MONEYBALL plays. But
I mean, there's no elo. Oh, but I also, God, I wish I knew like how much the prize pool split was going to be. It's not like it's $2,000 for the winning team.
Winner takes all.
Nah, I mean, sure, that would make sense. If that was the case, that'd be a nice prize package.
Maybe Crater could tell us. Hint.
Who's Crater?
What the prize pool split is. All right,
Well, he
Crater
doesn't
has
know the
no
prize pool
idea.
split. Yep, he's zero clue. Clueless production. We've only had one factoid show up this entire night, by the way. So
Yeah, y'all are slacking. Come on, man.
they're
Come on,
asleep
Keg.
at the wheel. We need more assistance. We have
Come
a
on, bro.
hard job. Get on the ball, the MONEYBALL.
All right. Carter just DM'd me the rock saying shut up. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Carter, if I offended
know
you
the
in
one.
any way.
Another one. Also, hi Carter. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh.
When are we playing Destiny, Carter?
True. Carter's been helping me grind. We just finished the Shadowkeep campaign. Now I gotta buy Beyond Light.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, he bought it?
I think he bought Beyond Light. I still need to buy Beyond Light though.
It's good. I like it so.
But Malusi Mira are the defender bands, of course. Hibana. Okay, this is something we can definitely talk about with the new update. Clubhouse is now Hibana's freaking playground.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it wasn't already, that just got enhanced
Yeah,
tenfold.
because now with the changes, you can't really effectively impact trick her anymore. Because at that point, like let's say you really want to open the kitchen hatch. You have 18 pellets, and now that you don't have to use all 6, you do it in groups of 4, and you can do 4 charges of 4. What are you gonna do? Bring 6 impacts if you're the defense? No, that's a waste. At that point, you can't impact tricks anymore. So what are you gonna do to keep it safe? Well, you'll just ban Hibana, and banning Maverick to boot is just gonna lock off the hatches a little bit more. Now your only hard breachers are the Thermite, the Ace, and any hard breach charges you choose to bring, and we know how inefficient those 2 operators are at breaching hatches. And also, before we go on any other point, I would also like to point out that Fish 6-picked a Finka.
All right.
That's actually something that he did a lot back on Brazilian
Hold on.
T3.
That's not just any Finka. That is
That is a
SASG Finka.
SASG. Yep. Okay.
Oh my god.
BFTF.
I was about to say this might be like an
Yeah.
APAC North strategy,
Dude,
but they run
BFTF,
Finka with the
Back
the
when they
6.
ran up the underage leagues,
Yeah.
Fish was famous for this, for the SASG Finka. So this is not new for him.
Oh no. All right. What did they do though?
They rushed with the Finka
That was it?
SASG. Yep. A lot of times it was a blue rush.
All right. Well, let's see. They can only open up the hatches these days with 2 Selmas from the Ace or with a Maverick. That doesn't seem to be where either one of them are, at least for right now.
The
Gomez
Thermite.
is close to Fish's position, so that if they want to go for a hatch drop, they have the ability to. And they've already determined that there's not a deep roam or an SSG-style roam happening on Club, which means all the players for Oblation are stuck on the bomb site. This is something that we saw from them in Challenge League a lot. They didn't go for anything that was more than on the same floor at which the site was. Ah, there's the Thermite. He'll come back in.
There it is.
Whether it gets the team to drop at the same time is a different
He'll
story.
drop.
Milano can push down into Generator at the same time that there is a hatch drop, and we'll see if they force the Jaeger out here.
Trust me, Jacob. He'll
I'm waiting
drop.
for it. I'm expectant. You've got me hyped up for this one
Dude.
Finka thing.
Yeah, already. He's gonna hit the boost. He's got the info. Fish, you gotta do it. You got black ice on the sausage. Come on, man. No fear. But Giddy will take the head off of Milano. A little bit too slow for Moneyball so far as the first pick goes Oblation's way. Excellent frag for... Who is Giddy playing? For the Valkyrie. Beastly will refrag, playing the Fragmite onto Inrio. No more Bandit. Nice shot comes out in chat from Milano. And Fish so far cooking the nades. But no, he won't drop just yet.
Come
He's gonna
on,
gather
Fish.
more intel. Louise is gonna start the pinch from Oil Pit as well. And this might be what Fish finally
Come on,
needs. And there
Fish,
we go. There's the boost, the garage, or no, the generator pressure. Heat only downs him. The foot pulls are his undoing. Arrow finds the trade. The Louise finds the finisher on the Benji. Gomez on the Arrow as well. Beastly on the Vivid. It's just one left, but Giddy and Beastly actually trade. Moneyball take round number 1, though it wasn't completely off the back of the Finka. It did provide a pretty adequate distraction as the rest of the attack pushed through dirt.
I got all hyped up for a Finka drop.
Man,
And all it does is down a Jaeger. Really?
he did more with it in the past.
I'm disappointed.
I promise.
Hey, the Season 5 prize pool. Production's good for something
Oh,
tonight.
there we go.
$1,000 for first place. However, this is pretty worthwhile in that his point, Fish's point about there not being any elo is correct, because there also isn't any prize money for what this elimination would be 5th/6th place. So there's nothing. You still have a couple more games to progress through if you want to get any prize money out of CCS, and they are not there yet.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, they're not in that 3rd place contention spot yet. That would be the, whoever wins between Ape and Oblation will make top 3. Nothing before that. But, Fish is Finka again. Maybe we'll see a more exciting drop from him. That would be cool. He's...
Finka Sausage was the hard breach charge this time. He was
Fish.
running frags before.
Fishka. Finchka? Fishka.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to combine.
Are you having a
I'm trying
stroke? Do I need to call
combine.
911?
I'm trying to combine Fish and Finka because they both start with Fi, but I can't put an SH next to an NK. Yes, the sky is blue, Keg. I'm okay. That
Sphincter.
doesn't... Yeah, I was about to say that just sounds like... Alright. Also, the audience couldn't hear that, so for all they know, you just said that out of context.
That's okay. If that's a
The
soundbite,
best kind of
I approve of
sphincter.
it.
Out of context one.
A perfectly kept one. I don't know where this is going. Anyway, so back to church for Oblation. They don't want to go for anything else. They would rather attempt a site that they've lost once before, considering it's such a strong one as church is, and they're not going to wait for BC to come and blow the hatch. Instead, that will be up to Fish, and he doesn't have anything to clear utility out this time, so that he will still require one, if not two other players with him in stock to ensure that anything behind Generator is demolished before making the drop. Can this be more successful than last time? I don't really know if Oblation were scouting it, but a double kill with a Nitro across the map. Inrio did this on Villa before, and he does it again on Clubhouse. Down goes the Thermite and the Thatcher.
Oh, wait, no, it wasn't.
Above
What?
Moto Hatch?
I thought it was the main stairs C4, the default.
No
but it was
way!
the Moto? That is impressive. There we go. There's the drop. Fish will just drop down, take out Benji Mula this time. No down, but he's very, very, very lit up. No trade, though, for Oblation. He will survive. He will persist. Just yet. Still 3 versus 4, though. Make it a 2 versus 4 as Giddy lops the head off of Gomez, and it's a second for Giddy. It's the round double kills Inrio and Giddy doing all the work so far, and it's just Fish on a sliver of HP armed with a shotgun. He finds one, but he's quickly traded. As Oblation, they tie us up. They take round number 2 on their second go of church.
See, this is what I'm kind of hoping that the meta shift with Neon Dawn allows us to do more. With the utility burn meta, it definitely locked you into a specific operator selection all the darn time. There wasn't a lot of flexibility. You couldn't really do much with too many of your players aside from those who were assigned to more flex roles. But in this case, because you're not super hindered on always playing a certain set of operators on attack, then maybe options like playing Finka can start to become a little bit more the norm. The Cali pick makes sense, but why would you 6 pick off of Cali? It's Finka again!
Let's go!
All right.
Maybe they'll win the round. Well, they won last time, but it wasn't really like off the back of the Finka.
I mean, that is true. But the reason why Finka works, though, is you can stim and then drop. There's nothing to really drop on CCTV cache unless you're dropping. I was about to say Logi.
Rush server window. Let's go. Come on, Fish.
Server window or
Pretty funny.
bum rush through rafters if that gets cleared.
Benji's also running the proxes on Wamai. No impacts at all for the squad. I guess they're just like, you know what? Shotgun of Vivid is enough. He's gonna be our rotate player.
That is true. And also, that's not a bad point either. That was a perfectly kept streak of Thatcher being banned literally every map until right now.
Oh, true! And you know why? I guarantee if the Hibana change never went through, we would have seen a Thatcher ban in her place.
Yeah, I agree. See, look at that. The meta's already shifting up the mentality for this. That's so cool. Welcome back, Thatcher, and Louise gets shoved onto it immediately.
Technically, Thatcher still has a 100% influence rate because he's still been played through the first 3 rounds.
That's true. What's this KD so far? 1-1? Okay.
Indeed.
I was about,
1-1 for
so
Louise.
there was a point where Thatcher had a 100% win rate, and it came on CCS week 4.
Yes. Listen, it's all about that influence, because the drone will spot out the Jaeger, and thus, Inrio's head will be cut right off. Headed by Milano, the entry working out very well for the Zofia, thanks to, yet again, the drone game. Inrio was just getting constantly called out. There was really nothing that he could do about it, and now, because there is no buck, they'll substitute it with the Zofia. Stun locking as well, so that arrow cannot bandit trick the wall. The ace will be successful. Interestingly enough, it's not the thermite, but the ace. And at 2 minutes in, the wall will be open, and there's one pick in the favor of Moneyball.
Something they can take and kind of run with if possible. I remember all the way back on Oregon, it was Oblation getting the opening frag every time. And then ever since then, for like a 5-round stretch, it's gone to somebody else. It's not like there is a round streak won based off opening pick. It's usually just been one side or the other dominating, and that's, well, I guess that's usually how Siege plays out anyway. But the opening pick has not been the guarantee that the round will be won for the team that collects it. Gomez start to storm his way through construction. He's got it, and he also has Louise for backup directly behind him, but it matters about how aggressive Gomez wants to get on the pick. One can peek him from green box, but the rest of them are still back by server window, and I do still want to see where Fish decides to make his entry, because now both hard breach operators, with the exception of the hard breach round, are now inside construction, almost waiting for their moment to strike, because the wall on CC has been opened up, and Gomez takes almost half of his HP off when the exothermic goes off on construction. Gomez will be killed by Vivid, so now Vivid can kind of rotate back and hole up on site. There's only 40 seconds remaining. If Moneyball don't play this perfectly, Oblation can just stall for time.
Oh, the Finka, there we go. The first sausage kill of the round will drop Giddy. Arrow on very low HP, and it's actually from below that Fish is trying to do work with his shotgun as kind of a buck on steroids, I guess. There's one player inside of garage rafters. Vivid and Arrow both still in sight, and here comes the push from Red. The player obviously hears in. It doesn't matter if you're Finka boosted. The SMG-11 close range will still shred you no matter what. Milano there for the trade, though, finishing off what little was left of Arrow. There's the kill through the breach, though, from garage rafters, and it's back to an even 2-on-2. Plant trying to go down from Beastly. It's up to Louise to cover in what is essentially a 1 versus 2 now, trying to find the pick into the garage rafters, but no, he fails, and just Beastly will die, and the clock will strike 0. Oblation, they will take round number 3.
Awkward. I said that if Moneyball don't manage their time well, Oblation can stall for time. What do they win the round on? Time.
Kills?
No.
Oh.
Because Louise was still alive.
Counter defuse?
No. Time. Because Louise is still alive.
Oh.
Would have been really funny if you whipped out another way in which they could have won or lost. I'm like, no, there's only like 2 ways to win. It's either counter defuse or kills, because the attackers can't win.
Oh, it's because the entire other team DC'd. They hit the pause menu and slapped the surrender on them.
Time. Oh my god.
I see. Time is just a construct.
Can you surrender from a custom game? I don't think you can.
I don't think so.
I guarantee you can't.
I don't even remember what the exact parameters for ranked are, because I've never surrendered. I just take the beating.
Is it 3-0? No, because I've seen surrenders on 2-0s before.
Is it?
In ranked and unranked, yes.
I don't know. Never
Which I think requires a forfeits majority in ranked to be successful.
Yeah, I believe so.
Whereas
Something
if
like
someone DCs or you cancel a ranked game, it only requires, what, 2-3?
I think 3. I think something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But
they add the contingency in
all
there.
5 of the defenders are currently in cash. They obviously setting up for a pretty damn hard hold. Giddy is now the only man back in sight after, I guess, he threw his cameras, and now he's done with his setup, and he'll chill inside of gym and maybe even rotate downstairs and, you know, go ahead and work with the C4 from below. I'm not sure why Milano just shot his impact at the jacuzzi wall unless it was left unreinforced, and he was able to open it because it was soft. Okay, the entire jacuzzi wall is soft. What the hell? I guess Oblation want to hold on to cash that badly that they don't care about jacuzzi?
Well,
I'm confused.
I mean, if anything, it means Moneyball have to force their way into jacuzzi, but also contend with all of the other gadgetry that's been placed around the other parts of the map by Oblation, and they don't have that yet to contend with. But Oblation definitely seemed as though they were waiting for someone to come for the CC wall side of things, because they have stuff at the top of red, there's shield set up inside, you know, just protecting green box. Fish just barrels straight in, utilizing the Gemini charge with Yana, but for the moment, things are still awfully quiet. No HP traded. And I think Moneyball, there's a couple players running around, not like they're confused per se, but just the attack strategy almost seems to be a little too all over the place.
They're really spread out. It's almost like maybe the soft jacuzzi wall was like a what do they know that we don't kind of plays. Gomez tries to land some sprays in through the bathroom wall now that has also been hard breached. But yet again, it's pretty late into the round, and we're still at a 5v5. It's been nearly 2 minutes, and not even a single engagement has been taken. 100 HP across the lobby, as now Here's the first pick. Vivid will get his legs cut off by Gomez, and knocking the smoke off, that is a brilliant first pick, probably one of the best that you could have asked for if you're the attackers. 30 seconds of delay, now just lopped right off, but unfortunately for Fish, he gets caught with a nade in his hand, and it'll result in not only his death, but the death of Gomez as well. Now a 3 versus 4, Giddy will just hug the corner. He knows he can waste the time away if he doesn't peek out, and Beastly dies to Inrio. Oblation have all of a sudden brought this round back as Louise now takes some damage thanks to the Vector. And this is just distracting Milano. Inrio takes out Louise across the map, and despite the low HP, Giddy finds a third. 3 for the Valkyrie, 2 for the Goyo, and Oblation will recover round number 4.
Much more back and forth contest than we saw on either of the 2 maps before, because those were all pretty much skids in one way or the other. Oregon was a 5-0 before Moneyball even knew what was happening, and Villa turned into a 4-2 half, but that was, wait a minute. Never mind. I almost thought this was a 2-2. That's awkward. It's a 3-1. It's not a 2-2. I'm restructuring my notes. Everything is totally fine now. Cool.
Church. That's also, wait, let me look at my notes. That is the first flawless site rotation since rounds 1 through 3 of Oregon. It's been a while. Well, finally, the team will take 3 defenses in a row. So, Oblation have 1 more round than to take their minimum 4 rounds, and Moneyball need 1 more round before they take their minimum 2. No matter what, though, because Moneyball have already won a church round, in my mind, this is in Oblation's hands. If they can take church, which is probably their biggest issue right now, is fixing what was wrong with church, which was, I guess, ending a 2K with a C4. If they can replicate the success from church, then they go up 4-1, and then they go back to cash, which they took pretty handedly. I think if they can continue to defend like they've been doing, it's a very possible 5-1 half.
Which Oblation most assuredly want.
Indeed.
The only thing is this isn't their map pick per se, and they don't have the opportunity to recover if their clubhouse attack isn't nearly as strong as their clubhouse defense. Which is just kind of the risk that you end up running regardless of which map ends up being the third one. If you're not able to close things out in 2-0 fashion, then the things that happen on map 3 become a lot more unpredictable, at least for right now. So, 45 seconds in, no HP traded anywhere. Milano's starting to force back down into Generator, and the idea of using Finkus off the board because of Dokubi's presence, so how they want to push this will be different. Milano can't get a little more assistance onto Generator until Thermite blows open the stock hatch, which he will, and he also used the other exothermic. I believe it should have been on the hatch in Moto. I don't believe that the attack from Moneyball is situated around Kitchen, and if it was, there might have been a little bit more soft breach presence. So it seems like they're kind of abandoning trying to clear out Armory, and for the moment, everything is concentrated on Generator, taking this part of the map and maybe even pushing in towards the, more towards Moto as opposed towards Armory.
So far, it looks like Moneyball still want to push down blue, just like they've done every single attack round so far. That's a really nice game. And I don't suppose that Oblation are going to be caught off guard. They've done this literally every round, so Oblation should expect this. Fortunately for Giddy, though, he gets caught off guard by his own footholes. They work both ways, and Milano will light him up to about half HP. He was one of the power players that secured their church win, as Vivid, from behind the minibar, he's kind of stuck because of this hole from Gomez. He tries to peek out, his leg will be lit up even more. A C4 rings out, but unfortunately it will not miss, not netting Oblation the opening picks that it did in their win prior. A lot of control right now for Moneyball as they have men in blue, men Moto, men main stairs, men everywhere it seems, but Inrio will still get the first pick onto Gomez, and there's another one for Vivid, a 3 versus 5. No trade back so far from Moneyball with 30 seconds left, but Fish with the DMR, he finds one wading through the toxic gas, cannot find the other as he's crossed off from the doorway. Benji Mula with one, and it's just Louise. Finds Vivid, smoke down, but 20 seconds left. Diffuser in hand, he's got to find 3 more. Benji Mula lit up, Giddy at half HP, but Only 15 seconds left, and pings, I believe, coming out from a Valve Cam or an Evil Eye. It just doesn't seem doable, and it's Giddy from all the way down main to finish things off. Oblation continue their streak, and they go up 5-1.
MONEYBALL not as effective as winning their 1v1 battles as they were on Villa, and it's definitely showing in this case. And I'm trying to find correlations between why they lost on Oregon and why they're currently losing on Clubhouse, and I don't want it to be solely because pushes are linear, because pushes aren't as one-sided or as one-dimensional as they were on Oregon. There is a little bit more structure to it. There's, multi-dimensional takes. There's, multiple avenues of approach that are being used to try to pressure Oblation into uncomfortable positions, and it's working for some kills, but then MONEYBALL just can't follow through with the rest of it. So what they need to adjust will, I think, probably ultimately come down to, can they win their gunfights? Oblation are currently doing much better in that overall department, and it's showing.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, when you think of MONEYBALL, you think of that potential. You think of the gunfights. They're a very aggressive team. They strive to take those 1v1s, and it's just, seems like Oblation have had enough. Giddy is 9-2 in 5 rounds. Nearly the same record as Louise. Louise, of course, got 9 in 3. Though he kind of kept that scoreline for quite a while. What, 11 on round 4, and then he didn't get another kill till like round 7 or 8?
Yeah,
like
he did have a pretty hard drop off, didn't he?
Hopefully Giddy's a little bit more consistent, as now it's back to cash. Oblation took this round in spades because of good Rafters control. Attack never took Rafters. It's good site presence overall. Finger Rush not working because he took an angle against an SMG-11 from like 2 feet away. So I mean, like I said, doesn't matter if you're finger boosted. If you take a fight like that close to the SMG-11, it's just gonna melt you anyway. MONEYBALL not with a lot of control in that previous round, and Oblation yet again they have been through this entire map winning their fights.
One thing I will say is that the intel and strategy that's been provided off the drones for MONEYBALL has been more successful than it was, at the very least, on Oregon. I don't want to keep on harping back to that too much, but this has the potential to be a 5-1 half in the same way that it was on Oregon, and that was practically unrecoverable. So they're droning effectively. They have their markers, they're pushing to the right positions, and then they just can't finish up when the execute calls them to grab frags. It's a little unfortunate, but I guess it's just the way the news goes in this case. And here comes another example. No! It bounces off of the window frame! The nade right after the ADS gets cleared. It's just a hair too far to his right. Milano! You can't do that, man! Not like this! Not like this!
Oh no! I think it bounced off. I don't think it was the windows. I think it bounced off one of the monitors from the CCTV.
I thought it was off the window. I
Was it the
swear it was like
windowsill?
the side of the window and bounces straight back at him.
Oh no! That's so unfortunate. So that's an early loss of Milano. He really didn't get anything. And no, the EMP does not work. One of Beastly's thermite charges will be bandit tricked by Arrow, and there's another try from him. You can see with the bandit battery out, it'll be successful, though Beastly successfully is able to pull his charge off just before it gets destroyed. Good timing from him, though still being delayed significantly. Arrow will go down to the peak, though Vivid's there for the trade on the Gomez, the man who got the kill, and now that the bandit has been dispatched of, Beastly feels comfortable putting his thermite down. Construction wall now open, but same problem will arise as we saw in Oregon. It's a wholly one-dimensional attack from MONEYBALL. They don't have anyone over on the server wall. They don't have anyone garage. Hell, they don't even have control, or really apt control, of the player by server window. Beastly just stood there breaking a barricade in the gas? That was weird. And now it's just Louise and Fish in a 2 versus 4. Make it just Fish, as Vivid finds a third. He's very low HP. There's no chance for him in this round. Giddy will end his suffering. Oblation take round number 6 after MONEYBALL. Milano killed himself, and Beastly stood in a gas nade hitting a barricade. I don't know what that round was.
Oh. What is it with CCS and Deja Vu? The last time Oblation won a map, it was off the back of a 5-1 defensive half on Oregon. And now we're here. 5-1 defensive half on Clubhouse. I wonder if they're going to win this map too.
What's with CCS and Deja Vu? Last time Oblation took a 5-1 defensive half on Oregon, and now we're on Clubhouse and Oblation have taken a 5-1 defensive half. I wonder if they're going to win this map too.
Weird.
Indeed. Oh no, sorry, he plays for Project Neo. Okay.
Rob, where's my Deja Vu t-shirt? I badly need this. Crow and I need this right now.
Okay, it did bounce off the window.
It did bounce off the
Crater-
window. Okay,
yeah,
we just got
Crater
confirmation
just
from production, yeah.
confirming. Thank you, Devin. The all-seeing eyes of Devin Hoot.
10 seconds left.
It's like how Hoot is like in Hooters, and their logo's an owl. And owls see
We really-
things
wait,
because they
is
have
this-
big eyes. That's the connection.
Okay, good. You talked about owls and not the other thing. I was about to
What?
ask, are
No,
we on
I
a
was
PG
gonna talk
broadcast
about-
or not?
No, I was talking about owls. I like owls.
Cool.
Owls actually have disturbingly long necks.
Actually, yeah. Can they do a full 360 or just below a full 360?
They can do just below a 360, but most birds as a whole can turn their heads like at least 180.
That's true.
Yeah. Because otherwise, if they can't turn in at least 180, how do they pre?
Welcome back to Bird Facts Cyber Athlete Championship
I like
Series with
birds.
Harrison Crow, Broder. Harrison, tell us why Moneyball are losing.
Because Oblation's killing them a lot.
Mm-hmm. They should get that checked out.
Yeah. Go see a doctor. Maybe we can find a cure.
Yeah, true. All right, so one thing that we didn't see Oblation do when they were defending Church was have people positioned upstairs, and in this case, I think it's just Milano on a solo roam, and he's split his attention between bathroom hallway on the second floor and the entire rest of the staircase, but he is standing resolute, not rotated back toward the bomb site, and this might give Oblation a lot more trouble than they originally intended on dealing with. Benji has to find the Mozzie's location. He's gone all the way back to Jim, and now he's about to get pressured from two different sides. Can Milano get at least one kill before he's taken down is the big question. Giddy, 10-2. We didn't even talk about how well this man was doing so far. He's putting on a light show, and now he's about to get pinched. Is the Mozzie? The pings come through for the thermite. Can the Mozzie secure the kill? He actually will! No chance! Sophia shoots the door frame instead of the Mozzie, but the Nitro Cell can't connect from Milano into the last moment. Oh no! Finally, there does come the trade, but Sophia just whiffs it, just barely. But look at how much time's been wasted. There's only a minute left.
That was odd. And Oblation certainly spent a whole lot of time clearing that roam just to go 1-for-1. Benji had the ping, but Milano slowly moved off of it, and it looked like Benji Mula just wasn't ready for that readjustment. Z4 from Fish will miss, though, so no free kill for him, but still up top, still trying to do the vertical game with Inrio on the sledge and not finding any picks with only 35 seconds left. Finally, Vivid will go ahead and put his hard breach on the wall, as will... In a 4 versus 3, Oblation in the driver's seat. Smoke grenade comes out as cut off the player's long. An impact grenade from Beastly to try and rotate through and catch someone off surprise, but waiting through the smoke, he can't find anything. They will start the plant a little bit late though, but it doesn't matter as Beastly is covered by the attackers. Giddy with one kill, Giddy with another, an arrow with the final. Oblation take round number 7. They put themselves on map point 6-1.
Elimination point now for the rest of the map from Moneyball as Oblation now hold the keys to Moneyball's future in their hands. Will they use it? Or will Moneyball find a way to storm back and snatch the key of opportunity out of Oblation's grasp? That is what they need. 5 consecutive rounds.
Yikes.
The momentum could theoretically shift a little bit before then, in the way of maybe if it goes to a 6-3 or a 6-4, because then at that point, there's a win streak built up by Moneyball. They've built up the momentum. It means that Oblation somehow aren't able to close out rounds in some way. So if that ends up being the case, and we get to a 6-3 or a 6-4, then maybe MONEYBALL have a chance to do what OBLATION were trying to do on Villa, which was also force overtime. That didn't end up happening. They were only one round off of being able to do that, and now MONEYBALL need something massive to push through. This could very well be, and every round here on out could very well be their last round in North American CCS. Will they go out gracefully, or will it be with just a little whimper?
Right. It's kind of like how... It's kind of like the threat that the IRA sent to Margaret Thatcher. You have to be lucky time and time again. We only have to be lucky once. That's the kind of pressure that OBLATION now puts on MONEYBALL. Only need one round. All they need is one minute, or it could be colossal, but minute mistake from MONEYBALL. And OBLATION fully know how to take advantage of those, especially with how experienced they are, you know, coming from CL and all. And especially to, you know, being, not necessarily having more experience as players themselves, but as a more cohesive unit, like we've talked about all throughout this entire match. So, it's going to be a church defense, is what MONEYBALL will stake their hopes on. Yet again, they just lost it. They think they can adequately adjust to the OBLATION attack, as OBLATION will yet again go ahead and they'll clear the top floor. There's no Mozzie roaming this time, so no early engagement, no one-for-one trade so far. OBLATION are safe to just go ahead, move through, open the hatches, and do the vertical work with Inrio yet again.
Not having someone situated upstairs is changing MONEYBALL's perspective on the entire round in a way that makes it seem a little bit more secure, or a little bit more, I guess, normal, because even when you have a player making a massive crazy rotate, or they're trying to go for a deep roam and waste time, it's nice in theory if you can waste time and spare one player going upstairs for that long. Usually when we see SSG style roams, the players who do the roam don't always stick upstairs. They come back, which is probably a big reason for why MONEYBALL didn't have enough players on site when push came to shove on OBLATION's Execute. It was because Milano was still upstairs for a really long time as Mozzie. In this case, or it's not duplicated in this case. We'll see how having all these players on site can help affect them. It's not super aggressive for OBLATION yet either, if you look at it. Zof is the only one on Generator, and everyone else is still like above kitchen side, maybe making a main push.
They've also spotted out the bullet holes from the Maestro, so should the push come down, that's probably going to be a pre-fire spot. As Gomez's shoulder, or arm, whatever that was, is exposed in the pixel by the Jenny. So, Benjula will get some early damage. But hey, it's just damage. Gomez still persists. And we're at a 5v5, yet again, a very late engagement coming out, but there we go. Finally, first pick goes the way of OBLATION as Benji finds a very nice shot all the way through the wall in the church to find Milano, who I believe was playing by the church wall, maybe playing for the bandit trick. Fish as well, gonna eat some damage as Giddy takes out Beastly, and things are falling apart. Giddy will still push down Generator. Looks like he might be aware of the Jaeger's position, but the swing does not find anything from Gomez. Luis is there for the trade, but Giddy finds a triple. It's all Fish on match point. And Giddy finds a 4K. It's a grand slam for OBLATION as they knock MONEYBALL out of the park and out of CCS. They'll move on to Play Ape on Thursday.
17 kills for Giddy, a 4K to close things out, and OBLATION a blistering 7-1 home run. I love how you got the chance to use the analogy at the very end. That was very, very apt. But look at this, man. 17 for Giddy.